All right. Oh, admit.
Hello.
Have you been waiting long?
No, like 10 seconds.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah. How are you?
Good. How are you? All right.
Yeah.
Well, happy regular Hanukkah night. All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
Where are you right now?
Ibiza.
Mm.
Um,
How'd you get the camper to Ibiza?
so I started to push it from Valencia, and it was kept getting stuck in the sand. Before I even got into the water, it was getting stuck. And then I saw one of these gigantic boats, and I was like, "Oh, maybe if I tie the camper to one of those boats, then it can just pull me across." So I was at the port or whatever. I had this rope. People asked me what I'm doing, and then they told me that what I could do is I could actually park the camper on the boat, and then that took me across. So that's what I ended up doing.
No way, you actually parked the camper on the boat and it
It was a
took you. It was a ferry. That's awesome. How long did that take?
7 hours.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but here we are. Do you know why I'm here?
No. Why are you in Ibiza?
Well, okay. I got to give you context first. I've been doing interviews.
Okay.
Been doing interviews, asking people in the street about what the brain is and stuff. No, I'm joking. You know the context. Anyway, so I did an interview in Amsterdam, and did you watch the Amsterdam one?
No, I didn't.
Okay, you have to watch. Have you watched any of them?
Okay. I watched ours and not any others, but I've
Okay.
been meaning to, so I'll get on that.
Wait.
What's special about the Amsterdam one?
Actually, you know what? Let's pull it up. That's what I want to ask.
Yeah.
What is the brain? Here, come over here. Come over in front of him.
I'm not a neuroscientist, so
Okay.
I think I'll give any wacky definition anyone would, but a bunch of neurons with electricity running through it.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay. What does that have to do with you?
I guess it's happening inside me as well.
It's happening inside you.
I mean, it's all the same. I'm saying me and brain, but it's all the same.
Thank you. Very good. Okay, cool. So you know that you're a human brain?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty rare. Cognitive biases, illusions, heuristics.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name any?
Sure. Confirmation bias.
Excellent.
Selection bias.
Excellent. We've identified hundreds, but you're the first person I've met who could say more than just the confirmation bias, selection bias. All right. So anyway, then he knows a little bit about that. That's great. Can I ask you two guys a question about what the mind is? Beliefs? What about that? Is that brain stuff?
Yes. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Do you know that sometimes the mind makes errors?
Errors?
Errors, mistakes?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah? Illusions, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think. Like dreams.
Say it again?
Like dreams.
Dreams, yes. We have dreams, which is where the mind is not perceiving reality. It's creating something. What about when you're awake? Does the mind correctly interpret everything that it sees?
Not everything.
Not everything?
Things you don't believe, I think, like that.
Tell me more about that.
I don't know.
So if you don't...
Like if you see somebody is playing like he's Jesus, but you don't believe it's Jesus, like that.
Yeah?
Like that's...
Then that is the mind doing what?
He doesn't believe it's Jesus.
Yeah? And so that's the mind making a mistake?
It's not a mistake, I think.
Okay. So then if the mind does believe in Jesus, would that be a mistake?
No.
Okay.
Possibly. No. We're asking difficult questions.
Yeah, they're difficult questions. All right, thanks so much for your time, guys. And then here we go. This is why I'm here. Thank you. They're recording. Okay, hello, Sonia.
Hello.
Sonia was nice enough to see whether I needed help with my wheels. Okay, so, Sonia, you like the question, what is a human being?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay. So do you have an answer?
What is it to be a human being?
Sure, yeah.
Biologically speaking.
If you like.
No.
Nah. Okay, then tell me something else.
I don't know. We are just beings and we are social. I think that's very defining, right?
Yeah,
Human social being.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Let me ask you this: what's the brain?
The brain.
Yeah.
Brain is the engine of our bodies. Yeah, socially speaking, if you're still talking about that, we are just, I don't know, to be honest. Our brain is deciding it's us.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Huh?
I think so.
I think it's us.
Yeah. But does everybody think that?
No.
What do people think?
There's people that think that that your essence is somewhere else.
Oh my
It
gosh.
being some of the chakras, I don't know.
Yeah. That's wild. Why do they believe that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still researching
How
on that.
you don't believe that?
Because I didn't research enough on it to know enough to trust it.
Oh my gosh. So do you know about what cognitive errors are?
No.
Biases?
Nope.
Cognitive bias? No?
Nope.
Wait, is that like a I'm not interested no?
No, it's like I don't know. It's just I don't know.
So what if I told you that? There we go.
Those are some good ones. Wait, so
Those are
what was
really
she?
good ones.
She said she was researching. What is she like? Did you find out? It sounded like she was like an academic or something.
It didn't. I think that I'm wondering whether it was a just a falso amigo. Whether she was saying that she's just curious about or looking for something, and she used the research.
And was she Spanish? Where was she from?
From here. That's why I'm here. I'm like this. Hello. Hey, where are you?
I missed. Actually.
Basically, I mean, yes, actually, I mean, anyway, I was going to spend winter in Spain.
Right.
Madrid was a possibility. Didn't really understand that actually Spain gets cold in the winter. And then I meet her, and my goodness, she comes up to me to help me. First of all, love that. Love any human who's like, hey, I'm willing to go help strangers. Offer my help. I don't even have to be asked. And that's pretty rare. And or maybe she just thought I was cute and wanted to get my number. But and then she says that we're a brain, and she has bangs, and she has that thing where it's like shaved on the side, and she lives in a camper.
Really?
Yeah. So I tell her oh my God, she says she's about to go back to Ibiza, her home. I said I'm about to go to Spain, and I was thinking about going to Ibiza. That's I'm in a camper. She goes, I'm in a camper. She shows me her camper. So anyway, so I gave her my number, 115% confident that message would come in. Didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't sleep because I was just waiting for that notification. And I'm still waiting. So obviously she lost it. But that's okay, because I'm here now, and
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy might be too much the right word, but I'm not violent, so. But yeah, so that's what's going on. And oh my gosh, what a time I've been having! I've done a bunch of interviews here. It's pretty empty in the winter, so I had this amazing warm beach place to myself. I met a guy from France. We've been traveling, hanging out together. We're writing a script together. Oh, you got to meet him. It's wild. So it's been
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
All right. I just wanted to make sure you've got the documents that some material that I've got on the table here.
Love it. Okay, and I just got your last thing.
Okay. Wait, I got it. I'm sorry, because I want to.
Oh, look at this!
I want to drop the mic in your lap, but I got one more thing to say. It's about my friend here, my French friend. So he's in his early 60s. During COVID, for him, the world is going mad. So he lost his job, because he wouldn't get vaccinated. He gets some face tats, white guy. He gets some lines here. He's very anti-religion, which I thought was like a reasonable thing. Except, here are some other things that are definitely sure. God being silly, that's sure. the Christian gods and all the religious texts and all the fairy tales they tell themselves, so they don't have to ask any more questions, he says. But here's what's for sure. The humans did not build the pyramids. Okay? Clearly a more intelligent species from another planet put us here, built us some pyramids, built us, I don't remember, there are some other examples, yes. When the brain is like a motor, and when we die, like a shooting star, we go off and maybe rejoin something. I was like a Brahma type thing. He's familiar with a lot of Native American spiritual stuff, but he wasn't familiar with the Indian one. So we're always smoking together, hanging out, talking. He has a bunch of land that he invited me back to in France. And he wants to get out of this world or, build a community, stuff like that. Okay. So sometimes he'll complain about the world and about the craziness of man and stuff. Maybe education or maybe people's values being off or something. And sometimes I would tell him, no, it's really a question of interpretive mechanisms, and I have some of this figured out, and I'm happy to share it with you when you're ready. But then what happened in these conversations is I wouldn't really go much into it at all, because quite soon, we would encounter, it would mean that you are just a brain. Right? The whole thing that I could explain to you, it would depend on imagining that you're just a brain and that you're not, in essence, that's going to do a shooting star thing.
And those things are incompatible for him? I don't think I understand his shooting star thing well enough to.
His essence is not a bunch of nerves. His essence is some magical thing, and then when the brain and body stops,
okay,
nothing about his personality, memory, emotion, or anything of that's going to stop, because all of that's in that magic ball that's then going to shoot up in the sky and rejoin the cosmic soul. I haven't really tried to push it, but he is pretty firm whenever if I say, hey, if you ever want to entertain that you're just a brain, which is not like a bad thing. It's like cool, and we can, but some of the things that we think we experience, we don't, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, one day, and it was the day I finished How Minds Change. I think there were some things in here that influenced the way that I spoke to him about it that way. And just really, you don't have to accept what I have to say. I totally hear this possibility. I want to throw another plate on the table, because I feel that spiritual thing. I feel like a soul. I follow God's signs. I'm here because I think he sent me Sonia. I don't actually but I feel that, and I feel that truth. But I do want to just throw up another option for us. And then basically there's a part of the conversation where I basically just kept checking. I didn't really ask, do I have your consent? But I kept checking, are you seriously open to this? Because he said something, because he's said, we have to figure out a way to fix humanity or something. I don't understand why people are like this. And I said, I do. And I've said that in the past, and I'll say I can tell him, and he'll say, and then he'll just start talking about something else or giving his own explanation. But this time, and then I go, I say something like, would you want to hear it? He goes, yeah, absolutely, because, I don't know what the answer is. And I go, okay. And would it, even if parts of it, I think that a lot of things you've understood will match what I'm going to explain, but there are going to be parts of what you've experienced and understood that there's going to be a little conflict. There's going to be a little opposition between those two things. So we're going to have this one idea, and we named it according to what he calls the sort of central God. So we have Moa theory, and then the other one named it after Neo theory, or voice theory, whatever. So I called it Neo theory. So I said, we're going to have these two plates here. And sometimes we're going to say things that are more on one plate than the other, and but I'll try to just, if you're interested, I'll explain what's on this plate. And now, and it's almost manipulation, because it's a sort of the commitment bias that we have. Once we say something out loud, even if we don't really want it, if we do say it out loud, we start to want it in order to have internal consistency.
Want to believe it?
Not want to believe it, really commit to it. For instance, there have been experiments done where they will go door to door and they will ask people, hey, would you ever, and I'm not sure I'm describing the experiment exactly, but would you ever is recycling or fighting global warming, is that important to you? Is that something you want to do something about? Oh, okay. And then 2 months later, someone who's ostensibly not at all involved with the first person comes by and doesn't say anything about the first person, says, hey, would you like to blah blah? And the people who had not just been talked to about it, but the people who had written yes, that is something that is important to me, or who had said out loud, yes, that is something that is important to me, more often gave money than the ones who had either just been talked to about it, or hadn't talked about it at all.
Sure. Okay.
So, and there's an essay, and this explains everything, called "We Are What We Do." So we kind of determine, we sort of keep calibrating our understanding of our personality according to our actions. So sometimes we'll do something not because that was part of our personality or we wanted it or whatever. Maybe we'll buy something. Maybe we didn't want it, but we bought it because of whatever other pressure. Then once you buy it, the brain goes, okay, that's something we like.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on board.
So by having, and it wasn't intentional, I really was kept, I wasn't sure that he was really ready for it. But so he kept, having to reassure me sort of, I want, come in. Bien, je te présente Léo. Léo ou Néo? Léo, avec un L. Léo. Tiens, prends le coussin là. Okay. Après, on va repasser en anglais, mais je veux te le présenter parce que justement, je parlais de toi.
Okay.
All right, so this is Fred. I was saying that we're going to go back to speaking in English stuff, but
hello, Leo.
Want to introduce.
Bonjour.
Yeah, because we were just talking about him.
Okay, okay.
I
am Frederick. Frederick.
Nice to meet you. I'm Leo. Bonjour.
New York.
No.
California.
Right.
California.
Ah, okay.
San Francisco.
Okay.
How do we switch? Oh, there we go.
Enchanté.
Yeah. Alors, it's
cold.
So I'm gonna get him just caught up because I want to see what happens.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was j'expliquais à Léo que quand on s'est rencontrés, quand j'ai fait les premières interviews avec les premières interviews avec toi, que avant que moi je te présente l'autre possibilité qu'il s'agit du cerveau, toi, par ton expérience et par les idées reçues et par tes propres expériences, toi, tu avais une compréhension de l'être, de quoi ça s'agit, quoi. Et toi, tu me disais, lors des premières conversations, souvent, quand moi je te disais, mais est-ce que ce serait possible que tu sois un cerveau? Parfois, tu me disais, non, forcément, il y a quelque chose d'autre. Et après, je disais que plus on en a parlé, plus, et c'était assez rapide, plus tu jouais avec cette autre possibilité, cette autre théorie de l'être.
Ouais.
Voilà.
Ok.
Du coup, je lui ai parlé de ça.
Tu lui as expliqué.
Je lui ai expliqué.
Ok.
Et qu'est-ce que ça fait plaisir, parce que, tu sais, je peux compter sur une main les gens à qui j'ai pu transmettre ça.
D'accord.
Lui, c'est une personne. Lui, je l'ai rencontré à Madrid. Et lui, il se posait ces questions-là. Il était très branché sur la philosophie et les neurosciences, enfin la psychologie, les neurosciences et tout ça. Et du coup...
Mais moi, j'ai jamais été intéressé à part tout ça.
Je me suis jamais intéressé.
Mais mon expérience personnelle a fait que.
But my personal experience made it such that
je suis obligé d'ouvrir les yeux. Quoi.
I have to open my eyes.
Voilà.
Hein? Pas mal, hein? Très bien. Voilà. Ok.
Je te laisse faire l'interview.
Ouais, mais tu peux rester là ou là, mais on va juste reprendre en anglais.
J'allais promener.
Eh tiens, tu peux.
Ouais.
Merci,
Qu'est-ce que
merci.
c'est, ça?
Ça, c'est ça.
Ah, gracias.
Oui. Et en reste pour moi aussi, en fait, je sais pas.
Dis-lui que j'ai été chercher la vérité jusqu'au Tibet ou.
He went all the way to Tibet to looking for the truth.
Madagascar,
Madagascar,
Amazonie,
Amazon,
India,
India,
partout, Africa.
everywhere, Africa.
Thank you.
Yes, he's saying thank you to you.
Merci.
Et on se rencontre par hasard
Yeah, we met each other by chance
sur cette île magique.
on this magical island.
J'ai fait une dépression il y a 3 ans.
I
C'est
was
pour ça les tatouages.
depressed 3 years ago during COVID. That's why I had the
À cause du
tattoos.
Covid.
Because of COVID.
Je me suis enfermé dans les bois.
I shut myself in my shack in the woods when he has a bunch of land in the woods.
Je voulais plus participer au génocide.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He didn't want to participate in society or in genocide, in the genocide of society.
Et je me détruisais une nouvelle fois à l'alcool.
And then once again in my life, I was destroying myself with alcohol.
Que je n'avais pas touché depuis un
that I hadn't touched for 25 years.
25 years. In 2 years.
And what was the genocide? Was that the vaccine? What is he referring to?
C'est quoi le génocide? I don't know.
Le génocide, c'est cette destruction systématique.
Oui,
systématique de cette nature
of nature.
Qui nous entoure au nom de la science
in
et
the
au
name
nom
of
de
science
l'économie
and in the name of the economy
et du gaspillage
and waste.
Voilà le génocide.
Yeah, so the systematic destruction of our surrounding, of nature.
Okay.
That is the problem for me.
Yes.
Big problem. I have a little solution. Je fais autonome ma nourriture.
Yeah, I'm autonomous. I make my own food.
Ça sert à rien.
I try. That's my little contribution, but it's nothing.
Il faut à l'échelle mondiale.
You have to look at the global scale.
Peut-être
maybe
changer les choses.
To maybe change things.
Mais là, heureusement qu'il y a Iris.
Thank goodness there's Iris. Wow, I'm blushing. J'ai rougi. So anyway, he's a team member.
Okay, I love it.
On verra.
Yeah.
On verra.
And so now we're going to write something, because he talked to me the other day about that one way to change the world might be through fiction pieces that set a good example with characters that blah, blah, blah.
Il sait que je suis antiquaire et que je manque pas d'argent ou que j'ai pas de problème de... Tu vois?
Non, mais il va savoir.
Je suis antiquaire spécialisé et que...
He's a specialist in antiques, so he buys and sells antiques.
Expert.
He's an expert, and so he has no money issues.
In 30 years.
No money.
Non, j'ai trouvé la
Wait,
brèche.
Hold on. My sister's asking for me. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Yes,
ça sort à l'appel.
Ah, bravo.
Tu lui diras, j'ai trouvé le moyen de prendre l'argent. Mais ça, je m'en fous complètement.
Ouais.
Je m'en fous, non, parce qu'il faut vivre, mais...
Sorry about that. They lost my bag, and my bag just got delivered to me, which is a miracle. So that's what that was. But I'm back.
That's beginning of call news. That, I mean, not that it was delivered, but that there was this event.
Yeah.
I would have supported you through the waiting for the delivery. Do you accept my retroactive support?
I do.
Support? Thank you.
Yes.
So anyway, no money. He always finds a way to get very well. No, with the antiques, he gets money.
Oui.
Okay.
Je suis pas un cas social où tu vois quelqu'un rejeté par la société.
Yeah. I'm not like a social case is what we say in French, but like like a homeless person, like somebody rejected from society, or like a really marginalized person.
Sure.
Mais il y a de la fierté en même temps d'être à part, quoi. I said there's pride also in being a little bit outside of it.
Yeah.
Oui.
Mais tu t'occupes de toi. Tu sais t'occuper de toi.
Je m'en fous de moi. Je m'en fous de moi.
Hey, Carol, tu t'occupes de Carol.
Voilà, bon, j'ai
You take care of
des
Carol.
petites responsabilités, mais
I have some responsibilities.
sinon je m'en fous
But otherwise, I don't care
de
about
tout.
anything.
De tout ce qui est matériel.
All the material stuff.
Je veux trouver une solution.
I want to find a
Je veux trouver une
solution.
solution depuis longtemps, depuis 40 ans.
For the last 40 years, I've wanted to
Je
find
suis
a
donateur à
solution.
Greenpeace depuis 40 ans. Je n'ai jamais voté, jamais fait de
I
religion.
donate to Greenpeace. I've never voted. I've never done anything religious. Ah, et je lui ai pas raconté. I was going to tell you about that because some of his thinking would match religious or spiritual or mystic tendencies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And so why the rejection of religion? And we have a story for that he shared a couple of days ago. De ton côté de la religion et aussi du monde adulte.
J'ai été voir toutes les religions et
Mais quand tu étais jeune.
Ce rejet.
Yeah, so you went and checked out all the religions, and so you rejected it. But I'm wanting to tell the story about
du monde adulte, d'être formaté et de servir, faire marcher cette machine.
Yeah, that bothered him. He has issues with authority. That's not what he just said, but and that bothered him. The idea of the adults programming the kids, telling them what to do. This is how you march.
À mon époque, le nucléaire, c'était un grave problème pour les jeunes comme moi.
Back in my time, the nuclear was a big issue in the world.
Ils s'immolaient devant les centrales.
People were burning themselves in front of the nuclear reactors.
Car c'est le feu que tu n'éteins jamais.
Immolating themselves.
Et c'est pas un bon héritage pour les enfants du futur.
And it's not a good heritage for the kids of the future. Yeah.
La solution pour gaspiller vite, tout de suite.
Est-ce que toi, parce que moi je voulais lui partager ton histoire avec la costume. Est-ce que ça te dit?
Quel costume?
Quand j'étais plus jeune et t'as mis le cire.
Ouais, mais ça c'est. Oui,
c'est comme tu veux.
Non, mais ça, bon, ça c'est.
Non.
Si, tu peux,
mais vas-y, toi, et moi, je traduis.
Eh bien, on m'a forcé à faire la communion, car je suis italien d'origine.
Because I'm, Italian, my origins.
Donc la tradition italienne,
so,
la communion,
communion,
le mariage,
marriage, the wedding, whatever.
Donc, comme on m'a forcé à faire la communion,
they forced me to do communion.
On m'a acheté un costume à la place d'une mobilette avec mes sous.
They bought me a suit with the money that I wanted, that it was supposed to, with my money that was supposed to be used to buy me a scooter, an electric scooter, so I could move around and stuff. And they bought me a suit for communion.
C'est stupide, but
no, it's not stupid.
Dans l'église, devant toute ma famille.
In the church, in front of my whole family.
J'ai pris 2 grosses bougies.
I took 2 big candles.
Too big, and
I poured the red wax, all over my suit.
Destroy le costume.
I destroyed the suit.
Prince de Galles. Devant tout, même pas 14 ans, 13 ans.
I wasn't even 14. And he says.
Donc là déjà, c'était fini.
And as for
finito.
The adult world religion, because he really wanted that scooter.
Mais déjà, j'aimais pas les prêtres en Italie.
But already, I didn't like priests like in Italy. They have all this jewelry, this suit, the rings, all this wealth.
Bien grassouillet.
And they're eating well and
toujours
the hypocrisy of people in power, right?
Dire aux gens, serrez-vous la ceinture et croyez en Dieu, ça va aller mieux.
Yeah, and then they just say, hey, everybody tighten your belts, believe in God, things will get better, and that's what they tell the masses.
Okay.
Bon, ça c'est pour ma religion. Avec les autres religions.
So that's me from my story with my religion.
C'est encore pire parce qu'on voit le résultat.
And then with other religions, it's even worse. We see the results these days.
De toute façon, j'étais déjà un électron libre.
I was already a free electron.
Ni Dieu ni maître.
No God, no master.
Comme Iris.
Like Eris.
Je n'accepte pas l'ordre établi et
I don't accept the established
la
order
soumission,
and submission.
à moins que ce soit un frère de guerre,
Except unless it's for like a brother in
quelqu'un
war,
de beaucoup plus intelligent et qui
someone much
me,
more intelligent
tu vois, ou courageux que
and
moi,
courageous, more courageous
ou,
than me,
sans peur, ou tu
and
vois, que je
fearless,
respecte
and someone that I respect,
comme un frère de guerre, quoi,
like a brother of war
de ma tribu, quoi. Et là,
of my tribe.
je m'incline, mais
Then I'm
je
gonna
ne
incline
m'incline,
toward, like,
je me
bow
suis
down.
jamais incliné devant l'ordre établi.
But I've never bowed to established authority or order.
À 17 ans, la plus grosse catastrophe, c'était de faire le service militaire.
At 17, the biggest catastrophe was the military, the draft, the military service. Whatever.
Car j'ai été un peu guidé par les grands frères de mes amis,
Because I was sort
de
of
mes
guided
copains,
by the
de mes copains,
older brothers of my siblings.
yes, qui étaient quand même
No, I mean the older brothers of my friends
un peu hippies.
who were kind of hippie.
Donc, j'étais antimilitariste aussi tout de suite.
So I was
Et
anti-military.
aller au service militaire, c'était...
So go into military service.
Et en plus, ils auraient coupé mes cheveux.
And then they wanted to cut my hair, and my hair was
C'était pas possible.
not possible.
Et je n'aime pas la guerre, je n'aime pas les militaires.
War. I don't like the military.
Qui maintiennent l'autorité du pouvoir.
That maintain the authority of power and power.
Qui tuent sans réfléchir.
Without thinking.
Quand on leur ordonne.
As many as they're ordered to.
Qui ne réfléchissent plus, puisque au Bataclan, quand il y a eu le massacre du Bataclan,
in Paris, there were the attacks in 2015.
Il y avait 2 militaires.
So at the Bataclan, where one of the big attacks happened,
à 300 mètres ou 400 mètres, il y avait
300 meters
2
away.
militaires avec les FAMAS.
Okay.
FAMAS, c'est pistolet mitrailleur français là.
Oh, okay, with like a French machine gun. There are two. Attends, il y avait deux attentats.
Non, il y avait 2 militaires.
There were 2 military guys, 2 soldiers
who
were working not far away.
Pour leur chef, près du Bataclan.
Close to the Bataclan.
Armés.
Armed.
Ils ont entendu les rafales de Kalachnikov. Si tu es militaire, tu entends.
If you're a soldier and you hear that.
Tu entends un bruit de Kalachnikov, tu sais que c'est un Kalachnikov, c'est pas un fusil de chasse,
you know it's not a hunting rifle or a revolver.
On tire dans ta capitale, tu es militaire.
Someone shoots in your capital, you are a soldier.
Tu entends des rafales d'armes de guerre.
You hear the
en plein centre de Paris.
In the middle of Paris.
Tu n'interviens pas car
you don't intervene because
on ne t'a pas donné l'ordre d'intervenir.
They haven't given you the order.
À ton poste.
You have to stay at your post.
Comment ça s'appelle en psychiatrie ça?
What do you call that in psychiatry and psychology?
Conditionnement.
Ouais, soumission, je sais pas.
Conditionnement à la soumission. Conditionnement.
Okay.
Conditionnement à la
conditioning soumission. To being conditioned to submit. Yeah, the submission conditioning. So that
works. You think it could have been just cowardice?
Est-ce qu'ils ont peur? Est-ce que tu crois que ça peut être ça?
Aussi.
Moi non.
He
said, no,
no.
And then I said, not me.
Peut-être.
And he said,
mais,
no, I don't think
la
so.
peur, elle passe, tu vois.
And he says, fear goes.
Non, ils sont soumis.
No, it's more about the submission.
Ils ne réagissent plus ni.
They don't. Okay. So that should trigger immediate a desire to intervene. A bystander who is courageous, someone who would be willing to go into the military if there weren't the political things, but someone who wants to be a hero. Typically, you hear shooting in your capital, that's going to engage those instincts, your heroics. But for them, those natural instincts were sort of interfered with by the anti-autonomy, by the when I do what I'm ordered to do. Hein? Du coup, comme les moutons, quoi.
Voilà.
I said like sheep. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
De plus, le budget de l'armée mondiale, c'est déjà la moitié de la famine en moins, quoi, sur Terre.
Okay. Ça.
Et il faut arrêter de faire péter des pétards. La maison brûle. dis-lui, la maison brûle, la terre s'enflamme.
The home is burning, the earth is burning, is
Les hommes avec leur guerre économique, de religion, d'histoire, du passé,
historical, they go back really far and for no
de
reason.
vengeance,
revenge.
Il faut arrêter de faire péter des bombes,
d'allumer
des feux, de faire exploser. Non,
bombs and setting off fires and making things explode.
Ça accélère encore
and just further accelerating our
le réchauffement.
Oh, they are the heating of de la planète ou de
la planète, oui, de la planète qui s'enflamme.
Yeah.
La planète s'enflamme.
Oh, we're talking literally.
Il faut arrêter ces guerres stupides de
stupid wars of
millions de bombes,
millions of bombs,
de consommation de carburant, d'explosion, de
consuming
pétrole,
of carburant, gas, and all the petrol stuff.
Tu vois, il faut trouver une solution.
We have to find a solution.
D'une nouvelle civilisation, puisque de toute façon, c'est la mondialisation.
Globalization.
Les lois anciennes n'ont plus lieu.
The old laws don't have their place anymore. They don't matter anymore.
Il faut un ordre mondial.
We need a global order.
Et peut-être une religion qui
unirait
tous les hommes.
That unites
fait apparaître un extraterrestre ou une fusée.
Maybe make an alien appear.
Un ovni ici.
Have an
que tout le monde le voit en plein Paris. Pour qu'ils arrêtent, quoi. De croire en des romans.
UFO, have a UFO, so that people will believe
magique,
something magical happen, a light.
Que les hommes arrêtent de croire.
So that men will stop believing
des romans.
In novels.
Des romans sanglants.
The bloody novels.
D'ailleurs, les pires romans écrits par les hommes.
By the way, the worst novels written by men.
C'est les livres de religion.
Religious texts. Okay, très bien.
Voilà. Petite
okay, that's.
Oh, hey.
Je roule une cigarette.
Il va rouler. Yeah, he's gonna roll a thing. Wow.
Je ne bois plus d'alcool depuis un an.
Yeah. So he's back on the wagon.
Arrêtez une seconde fois.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got opportunities to try street epistemology, motivated interviewing. I mean, bro, I'm so glad I met Fred. All right. Anyway, mic to you now.
Okay. So before I get in, what's your idea here? You want to try out some of these techniques to change his mind on. Is that am I right with that?
Hey, listen. I don't like the idea of the goal being to change someone's mind. You know, I like to give them a chance to.
Yeah.
Pas d'idée. On n'a pas d'idée. On n'a pas d'idée pour changer tout ça, mais il faut trouver une solution.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fair.
Because I don't want to presume that I have the right thing, but just to and I liked a lot of the phrasing that they used in the book about giving people an opportunity to reflect on their processes, because that was amazing. Because I didn't understand how come no religion, despite all the other kind of talk, didn't understand it. And then he tells me this story that he had mentioned in the past, but had never told me. Oh my gosh! You know, and it's so true.
Wait. Sorry, I'm missing something. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the rejection of faith.
Yeah.
It had to do with a rejection of authority, a rejection of the institution, disappointment about the scooter, stuff like that.
Sure.
And see, the first several days we spent together, when he would talk about religion, he would talk as my phrasing is not going to be perfect, but as like a good atheist would talk about religion, in the sense that, like, not being religious, like, for the right reasons, like understanding, like, these things aren't evidence. Like, one thing they talked to me about is, like, it's crazy because in the Bible, it's like 7,000 years man has been around, but that's not what the research is telling us at all, right? So we'll say stuff like that. But then the research and science seems to kind of matter less with other kind of commitment. And so but by listening and by hanging out and by stuff like that, I got to hear this story that didn't necessarily come to mind immediately for him when he explains being anti-religion, but is probably pretty significant in his anti-religion trajectory and his distance.
Yes.
And there were conversations like that in the book where someone realizes, I haven't necessarily helped or seen that link or helped, but where someone realizes, oh my gosh, I'm just realizing now that that's kind of why I subscribe to that.
There's that one example in the very beginning with the deep canvassing where there's some ex-military guy, he's super anti-gay, and he mentions like, yeah, the things I saw in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. And then they were like replaying that video to like hone their things, like what happened.
This was a much older guy.
Yeah. Right. So it's things like that where they don't realize it's part of it, but there's things that you're like, ding, ding, ding. That's gonna.
Do you have the book in front, or you have your Kindle in front?
So yeah, I have a Kindle, which is annoying as hell to navigate through, but I can do my best here. What do you? Yeah.
Are you able to give? Are you able to? It's well after. It's after. Or they call it deep canvassing.
Yeah,
I'll be able to find it quickly.
I can move around this thing. If I have page numbers too, so.
Oh, you do have page numbers. Okay, great.
I think they line up. Hopefully, they line up.
Et aussi, dis-lui que j'ai tout refusé
à
17 ans.
I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Il va chercher l'eau.
Donc, tu lui diras que j'ai tout refusé à 17 ans pour essayer de m'empoisonner.
Ah oui. Attends, non. Garde-le en tête. Retiens-le parce que je préfère que toi tu lui dises et moi je traduis.
D'accord. Non, mais moi, bon, j'ai la recette, mais j'ai pas.
I have the recipe.
La recette, c'est ce qu'on avait écrit sur ce tableau là. C'est tout simple. Hein. C'est tout simple. De toute façon, il faut que les hommes s'accordent qu'il y a un seul Dieu qui apporte le flux vital et c'est point à la ligne.
Attends, tu dois absolument partager ça avec lui.
Et c'est point à la ligne. Il n'y a pas un Shiva, il n'y a pas un Dieu chez les musulmans, un Dieu chez les juifs.
Le Dieu, c'est la chimie. C'est la chimie, Dieu.
Bouddha chez les Asiatiques. Non.
C'est la chimie en vrai. En vrai, on veut imaginer un Dieu par là, un Dieu grand, un Dieu central. Ouais. Mais en fait, Dieu, c'est les processus qui existent en nous tous. C'est la chimie, c'est la biologie.
D'accord. Mais il faut que les hommes comprennent qu'ils ont chacun leur histoire, leur explication de
non, il faut qu'ils laissent tomber.
Voilà, ouais, mais c'est ça.
Ouais.
Tu vois, c'est ça.
Ouais.
C'est ça, parce que là, ça revient, tu vois, même avec les ordinateurs et tout, on recommence comme au Moyen-Âge.
I got it. Page 31, if you're following along.
Right. I'm back.
Non, c'est pas la Bible, c'est comment les avis se changent.
Ah oui, d'accord.
Okay, so he's page 31. Flesher caught Ed backing out of his driveway in a boat of a car, and after some small talk, he asked if Ed had voted to ban same-sex marriage. He said he had.
Wait, I'm not there yet.
Okay. Fred wants to tell you something.
What?
Tu voulais lui dire quelque chose?
Oui, que mon parcours est chaotique.
My crazy life path.
Parce que dès 17 ans, j'ai refusé.
Since 17 years, since I was 17 years old,
je voyais déjà de toute façon tout.
I rejected everything. I was already seeing
le nucléaire à fond.
I was seeing the problems with
j'ai
nuclear power.
M'empoisonner par
so I tried poisoning myself with
pendant 13 ans.
Over 13 years with lots of.
Totalement dans la drogue et l'alcool.
And I felt totally into the drug and alcohol pit.
Et ça a été mon premier parcours. Quoi.
So that was my first life. Ah, et moi je voulais
que 30 ans, quand j'ai arrêté de boire,
and at 30 when I stopped
je
drinking,
suis remonté plus bas que Bad.
Oh yeah, I made my way back up from the rock bottom.
Et j'ai prouvé à tout le monde
And I proved to
que
everybody.
c'est pas parce que j'étais pas intelligent ou pas ou
And it's not that
feignant,
I'm not it's not that I'm dumb or lazy or something like that.
que je ne savais pas gagner de
That
l'argent.
I couldn't make money.
Et j'ai doublé tout le monde
And so I
à 50.
not looped. I lapped everybody. I passed in front of everybody.
Voilà. Donc après ils m'ont respecté
And then after that they respected me
car j'avais.
because I possessed.
Voilà. Donc là j'ai été beaucoup plus respecté.
And then after that I was much more respected.
Okay.
Voilà.
There you go.
Et que maintenant.
And now.
Je reprends maintenant que j'ai mis tout le monde à l'abri là.
Now that I've got people taken care of,
je vais reprendre
I'm gonna get back on.
Un petit bout de chemin avec.
I'm gonna get back on track with sort of the mission stuff and you know doing some of this stuff with Eris, and then also he knows this psychiatrist from a town in France, a young 32-year-old psychiatrist who comes from a bourgeois family who won out of it.
Qui sert de tampon pour tous les fous que cette
who just serves as a stamp for all the crazy people that this system churns out. That churns out.
Car même s'il y a l'opulence pour certains, elle broie beaucoup de monde.
Même quoi?
Si certains profitent bien.
Yeah, so even though some people are getting the good end of the stick,
beaucoup de gens sur le carreau, quoi.
Yeah, and then they're leaving the rest on the cow, on the whatever, the plate to be crushed. Yeah. All right.
Okay, I found your spot.
Yes. So page 31. So Flesher caught Ed. Actually, you read, please.
Flesher caught Ed backing out of his driveway in a boat of a car, and after some small talk, he asked if Ed voted to ban same-sex marriage. He said he had, and when Flesher asked why, Ed told him, quote, "I just believe in it." After some thought, Ed added, quote, "I was in the Navy and things were different back then." He went on to share how he grew up in what he called a hick town, Rochester, so when he went through psychiatric evaluations for the Navy in New York City, it was his first time to hear about gay people. Quote, "I learned an awful lot about life in New York City in the Brooklyn Naval Yard," he said. More? Or
I don't know. Wait, what are we getting from this?
This was I mean, in my mind, this was like the ding ding ding, like this is where his belief was formed. And he kind of gave it away without him acknowledging
okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were saying that he acknowledged it here.
No, he didn't.
Okay, yeah.
He just kind of happened upon it.
Just like my buddy.
Yeah, he just kind of happened upon this, and this wasn't like a thorough. I'm gonna sit down and figure out what I feel about gay people. It was his first exposure to gay people, and it formed his belief. And I don't think he realizes that's why his belief was formed like this. But so they go on. Hold on, they come back to it.
Getting 33. There's a paragraph. Getting Ed to process those memories out loud would have taken the conversation. Oh no, before that.
Oh yeah, no, wait, I see it. Steve returned to the video and played back the portion where Ed said in the boot camp we went through. Back then, he didn't know what gay was, but, quote, learned an awful lot about life in New York City in the Brooklyn Naval Yard. Steve paused the video and looked at me. Didn't get it. The whole team ignored that part. Now they use it in training. And now, today, that's something that canvassers would immediately seize upon.
Yeah.
This is the thing that sails by in the night that Dave doesn't touch.
Hold on. What page are you on?
Oh, sorry, 33.
At the top? Or okay, whatever.
I don't know. I don't have tops, but what happened in the Brooklyn Naval Yard? What did you experience? What did you learn about gay people?
This is what Steve ought to have asked.
Yeah. Or
Right.
so I don't know where you go with it. That's the thing. It's like I don't think, honestly, I'd love to like do one of their trainings. That would be fascinating because they talk
Bro,
about
we
it.
can do this. We can do this ourselves. We don't have to. I mean, yes, I would love for you to do that and take a little secret recording, maybe just for me, and share all of your notes with me. Have me in an earpiece. But also, we can do these things.
Yeah. So, but the question is, once you find that little nugget, or once you kind of understand how the belief was formed, and it totally makes sense. If you discover what gay is through a psychiatric evaluation that is framing it as a mental illness, and then you're seeing these gay people for the first time as like with that in mind, like, yeah, of course you're going to see this as an illness and something that shouldn't be legal and support. So that makes sense to me. The question is, how do you kind of, I mean, they talk about it a little bit. First, you have to empathize with them and get them to trust your intentions. But
can you read that next paragraph for us? The getting Ed.
Yeah, getting Ed to process those memories out loud would have taken the conversation away from the facts that seemed to support his argument and into his motivations for bringing up those facts instead. A deep canvasser could have helped him unpack his life experiences and discover how they shaped his opinions. Once people see where their ideas come from, they become aware that they come from somewhere. They can then ask themselves if they've learned anything new in the time since they last considered them. Maybe those ideas need updating in some way. Deep canvassing is about gaining access to that emotional space to, quote, help them unload some baggage, because that's where the mind change happens. Yeah, that's a great answer for that.
And maybe it's not a complete answer.
No, yeah,
but it is. Yeah, it's a great. And then the follow up would be, sort of. So what I underlined was, once people see where their ideas come from, they become aware that they come from somewhere. So my question is, can I be any more specific? Can I better understand what that mechanism is, what that voice is? And I would love to also be able to kind of think about the evolutionary advantage of it. Any mechanism in the brain, it's always good to think about. And because then that'll give you a clue of what that mechanisms may be linked to, and then how do you take advantage of that?
It's the mechanism that people's ideas come from somewhere, or the mechanism that
sort of, the awareness. Yeah, the awareness. What does that sentence mean?
I mean, become aware that they come from somewhere. I don't know if that's a great way of saying it. I think it's more like they don't come, rather than them coming from some rational process like we think they do, this like truth-seeking process, they come from lived experience. And that's when the belief first gets formed. And once that belief gets formed, all the other evidence that we see basically for the rest of our life gets shoved, gets warped and turned to as justification.
Assimilated.
Yeah. Into what we're, so yes, we get ideas, beliefs come from lived experience rather than rational process.
Can I just say, I love that, of course, because I love when we remind ourselves of that, because we are constantly forgetting that, especially humans in general. So absolutely love that. I don't think McRaney here was saying they come from somewhere in a justified sense, like there's some good reason that you have these ideas. There's something about becoming cognizant of the fact that there is a source, a cause, an origin to the idea. It reminds you, maybe, or it's easier to consider, that the idea didn't come from God. That, that you're not mainlining, and I absolutely loved McRaney when he talked about naive realism, he talked about mainlining truth, because that's what people think.
Wait, what was that? Remind me what that was.
Excuse-moi une seconde là.
Excuse me just a second.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites? Des cours de psychiatrie?
What are you guys doing? Some psychiatry classes? Non, en fait, du coup, le livre que j'ai fini de lire là, ça parle de comment les avis se changent.
Oui, ça j'ai compris.
Moi et Louis, on s'est rencontrés à Madrid quand j'ai fait une interview avec lui.
Yes.
C'était... Oh non, touche pas, c'est dégueulasse.
Non,
ouais. Ok, comme tu veux.
Tu prends le-
C'était... Non, mais prends un sopalin.
Non, surtout pas. Pourquoi il dit un sopalin?
Ah.
Dis-lui que je suis super écolo,
Tell him that I'm very
minimaliste.
minimalist,
Je fais la
ecological,
vaisselle avec de la cendre, juste
that
pour
I
rien. Juste pour rien. Je fais pousser
that I
mes
clean my
légumes.
dishes with ashes, that I quoi? That I grow
Je
vegetables
fais pousser mes légumes et je plante des arbres.
and I plant trees. Alors,
Ça me
en gros, c'est
ça me
juste
dégage l'esprit. Donc, alors,
that sort of clears my mind. Alors, moi je l'ai rencontré, c'est quelqu'un de très intelligent. Voilà mon Air One. Hein?
ok.
Et
Il y a combien de temps?
il y a un mois, il y a 2 mois.
D'accord, ok.
Et du coup, on s'est bien compris, on s'est bien entendu sur le cerveau et la recherche dessus, les dernières
Et qu'est-ce qu'il
idées.
fait
Lui, c'est à l'université, lui.
D'accord, il étudie quoi.
Il étudie.
Ok.
What do you study?
It's called symbolic systems. That won't mean anything. It's a combination of computer science, psychology, philosophy.
L'informatique, plus la psychologie, plus la philosophie. En fait, c'est ce qu'il
Il a quel
étudie.
âge? Ton âge?
Non, il est plus jeune, il a 20, 20, quanto?
22.
Très bien.
You say that's amazing because I remember I was thinking the other day. I think I would be too overwhelming if I had properly processed what you study. It would have been too perfect. So remember my mom.
When I first told you that, I think your quotes were like I'm chubbed right now. That was
Yeah. I'm getting too aroused. I said yes. Now I remember. Yes. and when I didn't get a text immediately, I regretted that line.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So yes. Okay. So so du coup, ce qu'il étudie, c'est une combinaison un peu, ou enfin le carrefour entre l'informatique, la philosophie et la psychologie. Du coup, c'est pour ça que voilà, il est bien membre de l'équipe.
Et qu'est-ce qu'il pense de l'intelligence artificielle là, qui commence à penser toute seule?
J'hésite à lui demander parce que ça peut déclencher une conversation.
Trop longue.
Et moi, je veux qu'on parle de ce livre pour en terminer. Non, ça c'est... Non.
Après.
Ouais, voilà.
Ouais.
Ça, on reporte. He wanted me to ask you about artificial intelligence. I said, and what you think about it. I said I didn't really want to ask you because I want us to talk more about the book. And he said, okay,
That's
yeah.
fair. We could talk about that another time.
Yeah. Voilà, il dit qu'il veut bien une autre fois. Et moi et lui, on a beaucoup parlé de ChatGPT et tout ça, et on l'a comparé à l'esprit humain.
C'est bien.
Non? Okay, naive realism. Naive realism is super important, Leo. I'm looking in the index. I'm going to get you a page number.
What do you think to Eris?
What do you think about
Eris? I love Eris.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Hey.
Yeah. What's that symbol? Was that smart?
I couldn't see that hand. That hand.
Ok, on est d'accord.
He said, okay, so we agree. Okay, look at just the underlines on these. All right, let me give you the page number. So we're starting on 80.
80. This Kindle's actually not that bad at this.
Yeah, it's not. You complained about it a lot, but it sounds... I thought you didn't have page numbers.
It's just old. It's slow. It's like when I swipe a page, it just takes like a half a second to turn, but it's fine. Okay. Oh, I love this. Okay, I know what you're... Yeah. This was okay. We talked about this a little bit. We talked about this a little bit the last time we met. How kind of the uncertainty is hidden from us.
Yes. Had I already read this part? I know you had.
You had too.
Okay.
Too. I think. Yeah.
So yeah, very enthusiastic about
20%.
the term naive realism. I've used it a lot in my videos since. And I love mainlining. Mainlining, that means like having like an IV of truth into you, right?
Wait, what's the... is that from the book or is that something else?
No, that's from the book.
Oh,
Because I'm looking for it. I used to use a metaphor of having like truth plugged into you like a cord, but I loved his mainlining, so I've been using that.
yeah, I see the word mainlining.
Can you read that to us? I don't see it yet.
I don't know if it's the first instance of it, but unaware that different priors can lead to different disambiguations, you believe you've been mainlining pure reality for years, and it was your intense study of all the bare facts that naturally led to all of your conclusions. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah.
So that's awesome. And so in my interviews, you saw I asked those kids, like, do we perceive reality? And I've consistently, by the way, in my interviews, and I even noted in one of the columns, naive realism, because even people who sort of knew that they were brains, still, when they talked about the brain misinterpreting reality, it was only in the case of either sleeping or substances. The normal brain is pure rational.
Remember in Madrid, that one interview we did with the Spanish girls, you asked them, are we rational? And her answer was when we're kids, we think we could have a mountain, but now we realize we can't have a mountain. Like, that was her answer to, that was the kind of cognitive errors that we make, is like, as a kid, we're delusional about things.
Bro, I really didn't want to talk right now. I wanted to keep quiet. But I wasn't able to do it because that's so exciting. Because shit, and now I'm wasting this interruption. Merde. Oh no, ça c'est mon ordi. Okay. I thought my Wi-Fi was about to go out, but that's just my computer's.
Oh, okay.
But I saw it better on my computer. So yes.
That's it. I was just giving you another, sleep. Oh, tell me.
There's a really big thing that I think I want us to talk more about in the future, is that we talked about the soul of the gaps, right? And these gaps are getting smaller. We're more and more willing to attribute certain things to biology and so on. Before it was all diseases were bad spirits, So anyway, so these gaps are closing a little bit, and so people will say that we have different answers to questions because we have different knowledge, different experiences, different perspectives, and so on, and different values. But let's just say basically that they say knowledge and values, that we have different knowledge values, and those are definitely important parts of the system. But the gap, so they're willing to say, yeah, we have knowledge and values that influence us or whatever. The gap where they keep the soul is what I would instead fill with the interpretive mechanisms. People don't talk enough about the interpretive mechanisms. They say, oh, I'm going to make this decision or that because I have this objective or this information. But you and I could make different decisions because just the protocols ran differently.
Yes.
Because just the protocols ran in a different order.
Yes.
So that.
Right, I'm writing some of this down. I'm not ignoring you.
No, I didn't feel ignored.
Okay, good.
I am now thinking about how productive it is for you to write things down and whether it would be.
I'm not writing. I'm writing notes about the main stuff. Don't worry. I'm not like.
No, that's great. No. Sorry, I'm just wondering whether I had an impulse to think that it would be good to do it digitally.
That's fair.
But actually, no. This is also. It's up to whatever. I'm okay. This is recorded anyway, and so you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Going back. Okay. Wait. So let's go. Well, how do you want to do this? Do you want to? If we want to try out a strategy, I think we have to first start with something. He said a lot. We're not going to.
Okay, hold on. I'm almost ready to move on with you. On page 81, in this naive realism, I just want to read one thing.
Yeah.
Discussing the implications of their research, Pascal and Karlovich said the science needed to understand disagreement better in order to avoid disagreeable results. The problem with studying political disagreement, however, is that even though the results seem simple, two ideological camps on two ends of a spectrum of belief, the many nested systems of human interaction that produce the results are immensely complex. The full explanation for interpretation polarization requires a, how do you pronounce that?
I think it's Gestalt, which is like it's
the German.
An organized whole that is perceived as more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah. Gestalt understanding of not just politics, but the psychology of reasoning, motivation, social rewards, social class norms, beliefs, attitudes, and values, not just at the level of human interaction, but within individual brains, right down to neurons, hormones, and ganglia. And so what I would just want stressed in that line is that reasoning piece, those interpretive mechanisms.
Yeah.
Because I think people do a lot of people do recognize, and in my interviews I've seen it, the role of beliefs and values and motivations and so on. But I want to talk about those interpretive mechanisms that are also these mechanical causal things. All right. That's it.
Okay. I like that. Okay. So yeah, he said a lot, and I'm not saying we should go away from the book. I think we're going to go right back to, but let's guide it a little bit. Like, he said a lot. I think we should pick something that is, I don't know what makes a good candidate for something, but it needs to be a small something bite-sized.
Are you talking about because if we tried this on the street?
Yeah, if we tried this with Fred, I mean, we're not gonna we need something. We're not gonna, like, he said way too much for us to kind of what's something that we think we believe we kind of have a different idea about. That's the first thing. And then two, we can have kind of a, I don't know. I don't know what.
Okay, so two options.
Once we get that, once we get that, we can think, okay, what little things can we pluck from deep canvassing, from what, I forget the names of the other things.
Street epistemology, motivational interviewing,
or whatever
politics,
or whatever we want to do ourselves. Yeah, we can kind of pick and choose and make our own.
Well, let's say now that let's try to have a few of these Zoom discussions. By the way, I want to publish these. I want to put these on my channel.
I like that.
Okay. So two options came to mind for me, and I want to hear if they inspire or if any whatever lingering or whatever. Anyway, so one option that comes to mind is, we talked about on page 33, the whole only people once people see where their ideas come from, they become aware that they come from somewhere. So that's relevant to Frédéric. Je parle de toi. That's relevant to him because of that, and the connection doesn't seem to have yet been made. We mustn't rush anything, but the implications then that might be interesting.
Yeah.
Does he know that I'm 61?
Pourquoi tu rigoles?
Non, il a rigolé parce que... Non, il a rigolé parce que c'est comme ça qu'il a su, tu vois, quand j'ai traduit la question.
Ah, okay.
No, he laughed because that's how he found out, because I translated the question.
Lui, c'est le mastermind. Et moi,
I'm the mastermind. Eris is the mastermind.
Spirit.
And I'm the psychic mastermind, the spiritual mastermind.
Mon expérience.
From my experience, absolutely.
D'avoir frôlé la mort et consommé tous les.
Having gotten close to death.
Lui, je connais tout sur toutes les drogues.
And having consumed so many different drugs. Tell him I know all about drugs.
Peut-être même je pourrais soigner des gens des addictions.
Maybe I could even treat people who suffer from addiction.
C'est pour ça qu'Erwan.
That's why with Erwan, the psychiatrist
qui était un client au départ.
Who was De toi?
Ouais, de moi.
Who
Il m'a
was
acheté
one
un
of
camion.
his
Il m'a
clients?
acheté-
Oh,
il m'a
see,
acheté
right.
un Pimsco.
Who bought a
Voilà.
vehicle from him, like camping car
Et
thing?
il était on a très vite on s'est très vite soudés parce qu'il est
We
très
got close very quickly
très
'cause
intéressé par ma
he's very
recherche.
interesting in my
Parce que lui, il
research,
veut soigner
interested in
les
my
gens.
research.
Il veut soigner les gens
Because he wants to treat people, he
par
wants
les
to
plantes,
take care of people, help
par
you
les
with
plantes
plants,
et des
natural
méthodes,
remedies,
des méthodes naturelles.
natural methods.
Comme toi, tu connais les réactions du cerveau.
Like you, as you
Voilà. Il
think
veut pas
about
des
brain
médicaments, quoi. Il veut trouver.
mechanisms.
Ouais.
Erwin doesn't want to use medicines.
Il
He
est
wants
très
to find
intéressé par mon
other
expérience.
solutions. He's very interested in my experience. Fin de traduction.
Voilà.
End of translation. What was the other thing that came to mind?
Wait, sorry, I forgot. Give me a recap of your first one.
The first one was to talk about the motivation, the anti-religious motivation, what motivates his anti-religion.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because we've already
Explore
found the Brooklyn Navy Yard. You know what I mean? So that could be
Exactly.
interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Another one that I was interested in earlier. I think this was it. Earlier, when you were getting your luggage. When you were getting your luggage, yes, he was saying that we need kind of like what he was saying about the UFO thing, about that, where he wishes someone would introduce themselves, either aliens or gods or whatever, in order to unite the people so that everybody can just believe in
I heard that.
And so he was saying that so the other day, when we had the conversation where he started considering that he might be a brain, he said that he was talking about how we need a solution to the world's problems. And so I asked him what his solution would be. His solution was 3 parts. Alors, Fred, viens là.
Yes.
Okay, first piece was ecological education of children.
Yes.
Une éducation écologique.
Yes.
The second,
pour
for
que ce chiotte,
so that this toilet,
ce toilette, qui est la planète,
that is our planet,
ne ressemble plus à un
stops
chiotte.
resembling a toilet.
C'est pire qu'un chiotte.
It's worse than a toilet.
Et de toutes les générations qui n'ont pas eu cette éducation
From all the
écologique,
generations who haven't gotten this ecological education,
continue chez
and it
les
continues.
plus jeunes, les moins jeunes,
The youngest people, the younger people, and the older.
Yeah.
Il y a abstraction dans l'éducation
Abstraction in
des
education.
enfants à ce problème primordial.
This primordial. So something about quoi?
Ce problème le plus important.
The most important.
De ne pas
to not
polluer.
He's talking about the primordial problem.
Polluer des gens en jetant.
To not pollute by littering.
Right, and if if you study ecology and you know how everything works together, you will have more empathy for the environment and you won't be so careless as to destroy it.
Tu auras plus d'empathie, tu auras plus de compréhension de ce qu'il nous faut, de ce que le système.
Je vais devant les écoles, je vois des plastiques partout.
Yeah, I go in front of schools, I see plastic everywhere.
Tu vas dans les villes, les supermarchés, les
arrêts
de bus, c'est des plastiques partout. Les routes, c'est des plastiques partout. La mer, c'est des plastiques partout.
The sea.
Ici, ils ramassent les merdes de chiens avec des sacs en plastique.
Here, and then of course they collect dog poop with plastic bags. Harris is guilty. That they then put on the sidewalk. Not guilty of that.
Il y a un manque d'éducation sur le problème.
Lack of education
dès le départ.
Of the problem from the beginning.
Yes.
The young people.
Les hommes veulent bien faire.
I'm on board with that. Let's move to the.
Si lui, les hommes veulent bien faire, il y a des containers partout.
Non, mais là, on passe à la deuxième chose. C'était quoi?
Oui, mais t'as effacé le tableau.
Ouais, mais on a une photo.
Ben, fais voir la photo.
Je l'ai envoyé?
Non. Parce que depuis que j'ai rencontré Iris.
Wait, I lost you. Hello?
Okay. Hello?
Oh wait, I'm back. I lost you for a second there.
Yeah, I had to look at something on my phone, and so that cut it
That's
out.
fine.
Okay, so number one, education. Equal
Yeah.
education for children. Number two, no, touche pas. Number two, it was that the directors of society are separated from economic interests.
Que les dirigeants
The directors
de toutes ces nations ou
of all
de
the
ce monde
nations of this world,
soient déjà
that they be
dénués d'intérêt économique
they be separated from
totalement
economic interest completely,
et qu'ils
And-
soient ministres dans leur parcours de vie et leur spécialité, quoi.
and that they be ministers. No, je vois pas. That they, I told me I don't understand, but that they be ministers in their life path.
Si tu dois être ministre, il faut que tu aies été professeur avant, que tu aies
If you want to be a
que
minister,
tu aies un parcours d'enseignement et
if you want to be a minister,
tu
you
ne
have
te
to have
retrouves
been a
pas
professor
ministre,
that you know how
ministre
to
de
teach.
l'écologie parce qu'il y a un
Can't-
trou à boucher, quoi.
You can't be a minister of ecology just because we need to fill the role.
Et qu'après, quand ça change gauche-droite, on met un autre.
Okay, troisième chose. Je passe à la troisième chose.
Wait,
Troisième.
can I ask,
La troisième.
can I ask about
Il a
number
une
2?
question.
Un peu comme les Grecs.
Comme like the Greeks, il a une question lui.
Oui.
Oh wait, who are the directors of society? Are those the CEOs? Are those the politicians?
Ce sont les dirigeants, les PDG, les politiques.
Les dirigeants, c'est
The directors are
Elon Musk,
Elon Musk,
les Émirats,
the
Poutine,
United Arab Emirates, Putin.
Okay, so yeah, politicians, business
les
people.
lobbies, les gros groupes.
Oui, mais toi tu parles pas des gens particuliers.
Non, ceux qui tirent vraiment les ficelles. Ceux qui tirent.
Non, mais là, ouais, mais eux, ils vont pas dénuer des intérêts économiques. So,
non, mais donc ils doivent diriger rien du tout. Ils restent à l'écart
voilà,
du gouvernement. Cela, il faut
little
déjà.
disagreement because I'm saying, but they don't need to. They're never going to be removed from economic interest because he's saying the people really pull the strings, and I'm saying, well, they're not. I think he's talking about leaders in general.
And he's talking about their own economic interests.
Il faut qu'ils soient choisis par le peuple.
Tu parles de leur intérêt économique personnel. Tu parles qu'il faut qu'ils soient dénués de ça, et aussi des corporations qui leur servent. Quoi.
Voilà. Il faut
and also the corporations that serve them, that serve their.
Il faut que ce soit des hommes qui, par leur réussite et par leur cerveau, ont fait leurs preuves, tu vois.
It has to be people who
parcours et ils ont fait leurs preuves.
Who by their brains and their studies who have proven themselves.
Pas des gens qui veulent le succès, être président,
to be president,
avoir les pots de vin, le pouvoir,
who want the bribes and the power. Okay.
So how do they prove themselves? Oh, that's fine. Let's move on.
Un groupe de sages, un groupe de.
No. I want to know.
How do they prove themselves? Through academia?
Comment ils font pour se prouver? C'est par faire les études. C'est comment ils font pour
faire leur parcours de vie. Comme les philosophes chez les Grecs, leur parcours de vie.
Comme Greek philosophers, Greek philosophers,
de leur parcours de vie.
Quoi. La dévotion, quoi. Voilà, de démontrer ça. Voilà. Okay, so to demonstrate devotion.
De leur dévotion à la civilisation.
To civilization.
Qui mérite.
So they've shown a history.
Qui mérite de prendre des décisions.
Paraphrasing. Attends. So they've had a history of showing devotion and sacrifice for civilization.
Regarde la politique.
Look at politics.
Gauche-droite.
Left-right.
Ils passent leur temps à démonter.
They spend their time taking down
ce qu'a fait le prédécesseur.
What the predecessors did. Just because the predecessor. Et là, je vais ajouter parce que les prédécesseurs étaient dans notre tribu. D'un autre parti. Because the predecessors from another team.
Yeah.
Okay, third thing. Là, on passe à la troisième. C'était quoi?
Et la troisième, c'est il faut une religion universelle.
A universal religion.
Qui de toute façon doit éclater.
That will anyway must éclater. Comment ça éclater?
Elle va surgir.
Elle
va arriver, quoi.
Surge that will come.
Quand les hommes auront les preuves formelles qu'une civilisation plus avancée que la nôtre est venue.
Oh, okay, I don't see. When people have formal proof, like real proof, that individuals from a more advanced species
que ce sera prouvé scientifiquement
that will be scientifically proven.
et qui détrônera les
No, que quoi? What about these
qu'une
extra
civilisation plus en avance que la nôtre est venue sur cette planète il y a entre 5000 et 30 000 ans.
Between 5,000 and 30,000 years ago.
C'est-à-dire la mémoire de l'homme des cavernes. Quoi,
so about the time since cavemen.
Il y a des preuves matérielles.
There's material evidence, material proof.
Mais ça,
But that,
c'est pour qu'il y ait la naissance d'une religion universelle.
That's a means of recognizing that is a means of having a universal religion.
Comme quoi Dieu ne s'appelle pas ni Allah, ni Jésus, ni Bouddha, ni Shiva.
God's not Shiva, Allah,
ni Thor,
Jesus,
ni Thor,
not
ni
Thor, not Zeus,
ni Manitou,
not
ni
whatever, Manitus or whatever.
Jupiter,
Not Jupiter.
Tout le nom,
all the names,
les noms
que
les hommes ont donné à Dieu pour expliquer ce phénomène,
to explain this phenomenon,
qui restait dans leur mémoire de la nuit des temps, mais ils ont laissé des preuves matérielles, qui est dans leur mémoire depuis la nuit des temps.
In their memory, in man's memory, I guess, since the dawn of time.
Okay, I'm confused.
Ça, c'est pour mettre tout le monde d'accord.
So let me just translate that. So that's to get everybody on the same page.
Qu'il y a un Dieu.
That there's one God. Okay, et maintenant?
And okay, I'm confused because what I'm understanding is that there is it's aliens. It's not God, is what he's saying. It's a more advanced civilization.
Wait, do you want me to translate this?
Actually, wait.
Okay.
For a second. Yeah. What I'm understanding is that it's not God, it's aliens from a more powerful civilization, and that's the higher power. And if we all if we all understand that and see that higher power, then we're all going to be on the same page and have peace. Why does it have to? Why? So I have a bunch of questions. One is that his understanding of it, and then two, how does he resolve that with his clearly personal spiritual experiences that he's had in Tibet and all of these.
Hold on. The second one, tell me more about. Tell me. Reconcile what?
Reconcile the fact that there. It sounds like there is no God. It's just aliens, but he's had these spiritual experiences with a higher power, and that's why he believed that his soul goes to the singularity when it's all said and done. That doesn't sound like an alien thing to me. That sounds like aliens sound very physical and not of this earth, but of
less omniscient, less omnipotent, less involved.
Yeah, but more powerful for sure. So how do you resolve those two things?
Sorry. The aliens aren't more powerful than God, right? You're talking about the God.
More powerful than us. More powerful than us.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
That's my first question, and then the second question is.
Wait, can't you write these down? Can we focus on that one right now?
That's fine. Yeah, let's do that.
Because I think all of these are going to be good anyway.
Car les hommes ont besoin de croire.
Because men need.
À force de croire, ils voient.
By believing, they see.
Par la force du cerveau.
Through the brain.
Qui porte.
I don't really know actually what that means. Ça veut dire quoi, t'y portes?
À force de croire en Dieu, ils voient presque leur Dieu, tu vois.
By believing, they see. Yeah, oui.
Ils sont prêts à.
Ceux qu'on croit, on va le voir.
Voilà, c'est tout. À force
so what we see, we're gonna.
Autant se mettre d'accord pour mettre tous les hommes d'accord.
So okay. On ralentit. Let's slow down. Okay. So I'm translating. So we might as well get men to agree. I'm paraphrasing now. Men are programmed to believe in God. Hold on. They believe in that, so they're going to see it anyway. So we might as well have them seeing the same wine. I'm going to let him say whatever he has to say now, and then I'm going to work harder on the.
Yeah, that's fine.
T'allais dire quoi?
J'allais dire.
I was gonna say.
J'allais dire que.
I was gonna say that.
J'ai perdu.
T'avais dit que comme ça, on se met d'accord.
Voilà, déjà, il faut régler ce problème. Bon, maintenant, je suis pas un prophète.
I'm not a prophet.
Et j'ai pas non plus toutes les solutions.
And I don't have all the answers.
Je pense qu'il faut mettre
that,
les hommes d'accord déjà sur ce point de religion.
Et moi et Léo, on est d'accord.
Voilà.
On est d'accord que c'est bien qu'on soit plus d'accord et qu'il y a de quoi s'accorder, quoi. Ça, ce livre, par exemple, c'est devant moi et c'est devant toi. C'est une réalité qui existe et il faut qu'on se mette d'accord tous les deux que ça, c'est un livre qui est devant nous. On va pas le dénier, ni toi ni moi. On est d'accord?
Non, mais ça
Et c'est ça. Et c'est ça de se mettre d'accord sur la réalité qu'on partage. I said, Leo and I
think I got most of that. Yeah.
Donc,
okay, now wait, hold on.
Une religion unique.
One unique, only religion, one unique religion.
Et dernière chose,
and last thing,
le mode de vie moderne,
the way that we live, the modern way of life,
artificielle,
and artificial intelligence
se marie avec la philosophie indienne.
So that artificial intelligence and Native American philosophy marry, that they fuse
avec la philosophie indienne. Les Indiens de la terre entière. Pas les hindous.
Mm-hmm. Alors, Léo, il a une question. Il a une question, Léo. T'es prêt? T'es prêt?
Je suis prêt.
Ouais. La question à Léo, je trouve que c'est une question intéressante. C'est que toi, tu as vécu des expériences spirituelles quand même. You've had spiritual experiences.
Right? Même extra-spirituel, même
extra-spiritual.
Même...
Okay. Et ces expériences spirituelles, est-ce que t'es en commune avec quelque chose? Enfin, est-ce que il y a une connexion, un lien entre toi? Is there a link between you and some other thing?
Est-ce qu'il y a un lien avec ce que je pense et les...
Non, je veux dire, quand tu vis ça, quand tu vis ces expériences, est-ce que tu ressens un lien entre toi et une autre entité? So when you have these experiences, do you feel some kind of connection between you and some other entity?
Une fois, oui, je l'ai senti.
Yeah, once.
Mais bon, c'était surtout peut-être qu'on voulait me faire voir ou comprendre.
Maybe someone wanted me to see or understand. Or something wanted me to see or understand. Ce que les hommes appellent Dieu,
par exemple, c'est une
sorte. What man calls God. For example, it's a kind of
de rayon de fluide vital.
It's a ray of light. Ah oui. Okay, so that's important. That this God that we would all agree on is the giver of the fluid of life, of the life.
Oh, so the aliens are not physical. They're not just more powerful, like more technology. They're like a whole step up.
I think if you were to ask just about the aliens, no, he would just say that they're more advanced. So what makes your question so interesting? Because yes, there is something else. I think you're absolutely right about that. And so hold on, I want to ask him because both of us have the feeling that our meeting was quite a spiritual, quite a destined thing. Because basically, let me just explain. There's an app where you can find water, parking spots, stuff like that. So there was a water point marked, and there aren't very many on the island, except it was not in the correct place. So I saw a parking lot nearby, and I parked there to go find it on foot. I go find it. I go back, and I'm like, this is a great parking lot. I'm going to spend the night here. One of the only times that I spend a night at a place I didn't see on the app, out of like maybe 4 times that I've done that. Then I see another RV arrive, a French plates. Well, before I saw that, anyway, I go over. I'm thinking this guy's probably looking for the water. So I go over and I say, the water's over there. He's a little bit confused because he doesn't even use the app. I don't know why he was just driving around on the island. He wasn't even using the app. And so then, we started talking, and there you go. So let me translate for him real quick check whether we agree that it was kind of a magical meeting. Notre rencontre. Et à la magie dehors.
Non, mais ça.
I said, is there magic in there? He said, no.
Non.
No.
Peut-être, mais
Maybe.
Mais ça, on s'éloigne de la question. Mais il faut.
But now we're getting away from the question.
Il faut admettre qu'il y a d'autres dimensions.
We have to admit that there are other dimensions.
Moi, j'en ai eu des preuves physiques.
I've had physical proof.
Parce que j'étais trop cartésien et je voulais croire en rien.
Before I was too Cartesian, I didn't want to believe, I didn't want to see.
Et
it was too logical.
J'avais nourri mon cerveau.
I had fed my brain.
J'avais développé mon cerveau
I developed my brain
de drogue pour chercher la mort,
d'alcool
pour
find death,
souvent près du coma, ou des accidents terribles ou près de la mort,
car accidents, close to death.
Près de la mort.
Yeah.
Et peut-être
and maybe,
je ne sais pas,
I don't know.
Parce que je devais pas mourir.
Maybe because I wasn't supposed to
pour
die.
Rencontrer Iris.
To meet Iris. Mais on est d'accord qu'il y a la magie. No, but
ça,
we agree it's magical.
On le saura qu'après.
We will only know after.
mais toujours est-il, je suis là.
But whatever the case, I'm here.
Et j'ai rencontré
Iris
et Erwan. Qui est un peu
who's kind of
très très à part.
Who's kind of a case very separate from, very different, unique.
Comme Iris.
Like Iris.
Et voilà, donc ça fait 3 à pouvoir discuter de certaines choses que je ne peux pas parler.
Ça fait quoi?
Ça fait 3 pour discuter de certaines choses.
So that makes 3 people, me, Iris, Erwan, and
je ne peux pas parler d'autres.
That I can talk about things with that I can't talk to other people about.
Okay.
Voilà.
Okay.
D'où ma rébellion, tu vois, j'ai fait les tatouages sur ma figure.
And that's what my my rebellious lines here. I did some face tattoos.
J'ai plus besoin
This
de
way, I don't need to talk anymore. I don't need to explain myself anymore. I don't need to talk to certain people.
Stop.
That's it. That's enough.
Mais
but
de toute façon.
But anyway.
Regarde l'univers. L'univers est l'infiniment petit.
Is infinitely
les hommes s'approchent de la vérité comme
men are getting closer to the truth.
La vitesse de la lumière qu'ils essayent de reproduire. Ils font des
we're losing it. We're losing it. Get it back on board to the.
Yeah.
I like one. I want to get into something specific here.
Yeah.
We're going to,
yeah. Alors, du coup, parce qu'il y a une série de questions.
Ouais.
Alors, la première question, dis-moi, oui ou non, est-ce qu'il y a une force qui a joué, ou est-ce que, au moins, est-ce que tu ressens une force qui aurait joué pour faire qu'on se rencontre? Moi, je ressens une force, hein, c'est ok de ressentir cette force. Hein.
Ça expliquerait beaucoup de choses.
All right, he's very reluctant to say that he feels a force was involved in our meeting. And I said, it's okay to say that. I feel that. Hold on. But, attends.
Je crois plus que
and then he said, but it would explain a lot. All right, so we'll have to figure out another avenue. What's next?
Okay, well, so I don't know if it sounds, I'm hearing the aliens and I'm hearing the higher power.
So we want to continue on that, right?
I think I'm enjoying that. I like that. I'm not totally seeing, and maybe it's okay. I'm not totally seeing how the higher power and the aliens are connected. At first I thought they were the same thing.
Not necessarily.
Now, I don't think they're the same thing.
Chez les hommes, ça tourne en cercle. Tu vois, les hommes.
It's funny you say that. He said, with men, we're going in circles.
Tu vois, ta façon de penser.
Attends, parle-lui en anglais, moi je vais faire pipi.
Okay.
I have to go pee, sorry.
That's good.
But it's true. You have other things. Einstein said first said the same parole. You have other things. this is sure. The human said this, said it's God, it's Buddha, it's Allah, it's Jesus, it's Krishna. It's a beautiful bed, beautiful romance,
Yeah.
book, scribe for the human who have scribed the Bible, who I scribed the Quran. It's a human. And
Yes.
remake with the time. Remake. It's a book human. For one explication, is sure. Comment on dit quand tu es croyant?
Huh?
Quand tu es croyant.
When you're a believer?
When, yes. The three questions essential for one human in my life, in your life.
Every human has to answer 3 basic questions.
It's d'où tu viens?
Where do you come from?
Where you come from? Who are you?
Who am I?
And after,
And where am I going?
quand
Yeah.
tu es croyant,
When you're a believer?
believer,
Uh-huh.
when you believe, these 3 questions, finish. Your mind.
Attends, il voit pas.
Ces 3 questions, tu ne te les poses plus.
These 3 questions you don't ask yourself
These
anymore.
3 questions is resolved.
They're resolved.
Resolved. And your mind.
Your mind shrinks.
Voilà.
Rétrécit, quoi.
Carré. Carré, là. Quadro.
Ah oui, ça devient carré. I mean, that
Il
becomes
est dans
square.
un cadre. Il est dans un cadre.
Oh, it's in a box. Okay. Alors, Fred,
Maintenant, si
est-ce que
les
je peux
hommes,
te poser une
si les
question?
hommes ont ce besoin de croire
If
absolu,
men need to believe something absolute, je traduis.
oui. Si les hommes ont ce besoin absolu de
If
croire,
they have this absolute need to believe,
il faut créer une religion unique qui mette tout le monde d'accord.
okay, alors, we have to create a religion that regulates. Okay, so here's my question. Voici ma question. Okay, les expériences magiques, spirituelles que tu as eues, est-ce qu'il y avait un dieu impliqué, même si c'est pas les dieux nommés par l'homme?
Ah, si, peut-être.
Right. So in these magical experiences, spiritual experiences that you've had, was there a God involved? And he said no. And then, as I was saying, even if it isn't a God named by man, he said yes. Okay, vas-y.
Okay.
Si,
Yeah.
Une fois, j'ai été
One time.
victime d'une magie africaine.
I was victim of some African magic.
J'avais récupéré un couteau de sacrifice, certainement humain africain.
Okay.
Non, mais sans le savoir.
He had gotten a knife, a human sacrificial knife.
Parce que j'étais trop
He didn't know
cartésien.
that that's what it
J'étais
was.
tellement
It
cartésien
was
que
so Cartesian,
c'était
so
hors de question
logical. It was out of the question that it actually be.
Même les blacks,
Even the blacks
qui l'ont vu, m'ont dit
that saw it
débarrasse-toi de ça.
said, "Get rid of that."
Car j'étais brocanteur à l'époque sur les marchés. Là.
Oui.
Et au bout d'un an
after a year,
de faits bizarres que je voulais pas ouvrir les yeux
Hey. Okay, attends.
Et là, j'ai eu deux confirmations avec témoins.
He said, I didn't want to open my eyes. I had some stuff. I didn't want to open my eyes, but then I saw something. 2 witnesses, quoi?
Donc 2 fois,
Twice.
J'ai eu confirmation avec témoins.
I got confirmation by witnesses.
Ma compagne Carole.
My partner.
Très cartésienne.
Carol,
très mère de
very
famille, très
sort of logical or
bref.
Cartesian, keep saying.
Machin et tout ça.
And but very like society person. Like I go to work, have to do.
De faits surnaturels, quoi.
So this is something about a supernatural.
La première fois, on jouait au dé tous les deux.
We were playing die dice, the two of us.
Le dé restait en équilibre sur la piste.
The die stayed was perfectly balanced.
J'avais fait aucune attention.
It didn't land.
J'allais rejouer. Elle a dit stop.
He didn't notice. He was going to continue going, and she was like, "Stop!" And she's like looking at it, trying to say, "How is this doing it?"
Et après, je me suis mis à réfléchir. Oui, c'est pas possible.
And then I was like, "Oh!" And then I thought about it. I was like, "Oh wait, yeah, that's not possible."
Mais bref, là encore, pour moi,
but anyway,
c'était peut-être un.
I mean, maybe.
De miracle,
maybe some kind of miracle
de la géométrie et de la pesanteur.
Of geometry. Maybe.
2 mois après,
2 months later,
on regardait la télé tous les deux.
The two of us were watching television.
J'avais toujours ce couteau africain en tête de m'en débarrasser.
I had in my mind this African knife that I was told to get rid of.
Mes pannes mécaniques électriques sur mes véhicules étaient trop nombreuses.
Quoi?
Les pannes mécaniques sur les camions s'enchaînaient, quoi.
I started having a bunch
of
electrical issues.
Électrique. Plusieurs petits malheurs dans la famille. Bon, bref. 2 mois après,
some unfortunate incidents in the family. Anyway, 2 months later, I go to get.
Je vais chercher un verre d'eau dans la cuisine.
A glass of water in the kitchen.
J'allume la lumière.
Turn on the lights.
Je rentre.
Go in.
Je regarde le verre sur la table.
Look at the glass of water.
Il explose en 1000 morceaux.
And it explodes into 1,000 pieces.
Là, j'ai décidé de me débarrasser
I decided to get rid as quickly as possible of
ce couteau-là.
That knife.
Comme j'ai été dans les tribus, dans les montagnes, chez les indigènes,
with indigenous tribes in like the mountains. Okay,
j'étais passionné de Merlin l'Enchanteur, de magie.
I was already enchanted by Merlin and magic, and
inconsciemment on a quelques notions.
Unconsciously, we already have some notions. So we already have some basics. Ouais, mais notion, ça marche pas.
Ça marche pas. Alors,
si, okay. Well, we already have some. We already have some knowledge.
Voilà, qu'on a entendu parler, quoi.
That we've heard people speak. Donc, attends, quoi? Tu parles de quelle connaissance?
Non, mais par exemple, en sorcellerie, on a quelques connaissances.
In witchcraft, we have some knowledge.
D'avoir lu Merlin l'Enchanteur.
From having read about Merlin.
Bref, tout ça n'a pas.
Anyway, whatever. That doesn't matter.
Donc, je savais qu'il fallait pas le brûler.
I knew
inconsciemment.
That it mustn't burn. Oh, unconsciously, I knew we mustn't burn the knife to get rid of it.
Il fallait pas le brûler ou le jeter dans l'eau.
Must not burn it or throw it in the water.
Tu pouvais le cacher chez un ennemi pour que le malheur.
You can hide it at an enemy's spot so that he has the
Mais c'est pas du tout mon style.
But that's not really my
style.
Chevalier. I'm more of a gentleman.
Ou alors, comme la façon qu'on me l'a donné, quoi, de prévenir la personne.
Or maybe like the way that people gave it to me, to warn the next person.
Que c'était une mauvaise chose, quoi.
That it was a bad thing.
Et c'est ce que j'ai fait.
And that's what I did.
Et en l'amenant sur le marché.
And then when I was taking it to the market.
Avant d'arriver à Reims.
Before I arrived in the city,
il y avait du verglas sur la route, c'est vrai.
There was, black ice on the road.
C'est vrai, mais je roulais pas vite.
But I wasn't going fast.
La voiture s'est mise à trembler, quoi.
And the car started shaking.
Et j'ai sorti ce couteau en pleine nuit.
The knife in the middle of the night. I took the knife.
Sur mon stand.
Sur ton stand.
Au marché.
Ouais. Yeah. Okay. So he set up his stand and he put his in the middle of the night. En pleine nuit.
En pleine nuit.
In the middle of the night, he's got his stand at the market around 6 a.m. and he puts his knife at his stand.
Et là, il arrivait un monsieur bien habillé.
And then there's a well-dressed gentleman who arrives.
Qui a pris, il m'a dit c'est combien.
Who takes it, he asks how much is it. I said, hey, listen.
Je vous le vends 10 francs.
I'll give it to you for 10 francs.
10 €.
Non, c'est pas 10 euros, ça.
C'est pareil.
Okay.
Mais je vous préviens, il porte malheur. Il m'a dit,
I'm going to warn you that it's cursed.
Voilà.
Et lui, il a pris alors.
Oui.
Ok, très bien.
Oui, parce que c'était quelque chose de valeur.
Et moi, j'ai une question pour toi.
Donc.
Attends. Ah ouais, tu l'as vu. Est-ce que, parce que nous, on essaie de comprendre avec toi la psychologie d'être humain.
Ouais.
Et on veut, en gros, dans ce livre-là,
Ah, mais avec moi, la psychologie, ça va être dur.
No, t'inquiète. With me, psychology is going to be hard. No, don't worry. Dans ce livre-là, attends. So, I had some confidence in how I was going to present it, but now I don't. So, I was going to say, basically, I was going to ask him, could we, and I should have checked with you, would he be okay, maybe not tonight, but another time, that we evoke some claim, some statement, and then, talk about it. Like they talk about doing it different. Should I do that?
Yeah. That would be like, yeah, if you want, only if he wants to, though. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
What was the name? Street epistemology. What was the first step? Like, you come up with a claim that they agree
exactly.
to, like that, and that's an important.
And then you have to keep it focused on that claim, and that's why
which I'm having a great time. We haven't done here. That's okay. I'm learning a lot. That's fine.
It's not people. It's not possible. I'm said this for tout le monde, quoi. C'est pas possible.
For everybody.
Je dis
it's
ça
not
à tout le
possible
monde.
that
non, mais,
I tell everybody.
C'est.
Ce que tu racontes,
oui,
ce que tu dis là,
voilà.
tu pourras pas partager avec tout le monde.
Ben non,
What I'm telling you guys now, I can't tell everybody.
M'enfermer.
They lock me up.
À Madagascar aussi, j'ai eu.
In Madagascar too,
deux expériences.
I had 2 experiences.
Un Tana food. One Tana food. Tana food, c'est empoisonnement.
I had a poisoning. I was poisoned, or I had not necessarily from another person, but I had a poison experience.
Ouais.
C'est quoi?
Eh ben, c'est parce que à Madagascar, la deuxième fois.
Oui. So in Madagascar, the second time,
j'avais été pour une sorte de chef d'entreprise de matériel de travaux publics d'occasion.
Attends, toi, t'avais postulé pour ça?
Non, j'étais ami avec le
I was friend with.
Il y avait une entreprise, ce gars.
A guy who had a business.
C'était un boss.
That was like a boss in a business.
Matériel de travaux publics d'occasion.
Matériel de travaux publics. Construction. That took care of construction material.
J'ai été à Madagascar une seconde fois tout seul pour voir si c'était possible.
So I went to Madagascar a second time to see if it was possible
vendre du matériel
to sell material.
Comme ça, j'aurais été sur place et lui
and this way I would have been there, or whatever. I would have been there, and then he would have been sending me.
Voilà.
Hey, je comprends pas le travail, mais c'est pas important.
Non, mais c'est pas important, non.
I said I don't understand the job, but it's not important. He said no.
Donc, à cette époque, t'avais un Français pour 20 filles dans une boîte de nuit, quoi.
Back then, you had like one French dude with there were about 20 women per one French dude.
Donc, pour que les filles me laissent tranquille, je leur disais, en France, c'est les femmes qui me payent.
So to get the women to leave me alone, I told them that, well, hey, look, in my culture in France, it's the women that, buy my drinks.
Et un soir,
and so one night,
ils ont envoyé une princesse.
They sent a
une princesse est arrivée.
Comment ça, une princesse?
Une très, très belle,
beautiful,
alors là,
made up.
Vraiment belle.
I mean, just really.
Et elle vient me voir, elle me dit.
Come see me.
Et elle me dit, mes
copines, my girlfriends said to me that
en France, c'est les femmes qui te payent. Tout ça,
in France, it's women who pay.
Et elle me dit, moi, je veux bien te payer.
So I would like to buy you a drink. Un verre?
Non, elle veut bien me payer pour aller faire l'amour. Oui, elle me paye un verre aussi. Elle me paye un verre en premier.
Right, no, pay for sex.
Alors, vas-y, explique-lui.
Ouais, ben non, là, il a compris, ouais.
Ok. Et donc,
so yeah, you had said the women pay for sex.
Elle me paye un coca.
So she buys me quoi? Un coca? Un Coca-Cola. She buys me a Coca-Cola.
Je bois la bouteille, une première gorgée.
I take a sip.
Elle venait de l'ouvrir devant moi et je pars aux toilettes.
And I go to the toilet. They had opened it in front of me. I take a sip and I have to go to the toilet.
Très important parce que ça a dû arriver.
Very important
à ce moment-là.
Because it had to happen then.
Et on va dans ma chambre.
So we go into my bedroom.
Et on commence à se doucher.
We shower together, naked.
On commence à me caresser, tout ça.
So touching me.
Et il y avait un grand miroir.
It was a big mirror.
Et je la regarde dans les yeux, dans le
And I
miroir.
look into her eyes through the mirror,
Et là, je me sens partir, comme hypnotisé.
and I feel myself leave. Come on, quoi?
Comme hypnotisé. L'hypnose.
Like I was hypnotized. Comme l'hypnose.
Comme l'hypnose. En la regardant dans le miroir.
And while looking at her in the mirror, in her eyes, I felt hypnotized.
Et heureusement que j'avais une grande expérience des drogues
And thank goodness I had a lot of experience with drugs
et des choses mystiques.
and mystic stuff.
J'ai tourné le regard tout de
I
suite.
turned my look.
Je l'ai attrapée par le cou
I grabbed her neck
pour la diriger vers la porte.
to move her towards the door.
Et quand je l'ai regardée une deuxième fois dans le miroir, parce elle m'a fait ça, tu sais, pour que je le regarde encore dans ses yeux.
And so he was trying to avoid eye contact, and she was like trying to.
Dans le
Elle
miroir.
indiquait le miroir.
Ouais.
She was pointing at the mirror to get me to look again.
Quand j'ai tourné la tête comme ça,
I turned
commençais à
like that.
partir.
I was starting to leave.
Et quand j'ai remis mon regard, elle faisait ça avec son doigt.
And when I looked
Et là,
back, she was doing this with her finger.
Là, je l'ai attrapée par le cou et je lui ai dit, habille-toi. Et,
So I grabbed her neck and I said, "Get dressed, go."
et par.
Quelle histoire! What a story!
Ouais,
Wow.
ouais.
Yeah, brother.
Ça, c'est.
That Desi, go on.
C'était
was
très
very-
mystique.
Very mystic.
Je
And
sais pas quelle est cette drogue, je sais pas quelle est cette drogue, ou si elle avait un pouvoir, peut-être.
Ok, j'ai compris ta question. Je la retiens. What were you saying, Leo? Leo?
So he thinks that she poisoned him,
Okay,
hypnotized
wait,
him.
hold on. Let me just translate what he just said. He said, he said, I don't know what that drug was or whether she had some kind of power. Okay, now go on.
Oh, I guess that's the question. He
Parce
doesn't
que
know.
les
but yeah,
Malgaches,
that's-
les Malgaches voulaient tous savoir ce que je venais faire.
The Madagascarians, the Malgache,
Voilà,
whatever
ce que
they're
je venais
called,
faire.
they wanted to know what I was going to do.
Et chez les Malgaches,
Attends, ils voulaient savoir
ils
ce que
voulaient
tu voulais
savoir
faire?
ce que je venais faire sur l'île.
Oh, what I came to the island to do?
Tu vois.
They want to know?
Et la sorcellerie malgache est,
So
est très puissante chez les femmes.
Madagascar witch is extremely powerful among women.
Seconde expérience.
Second experience, we're
Je
moving
t'ai
on,
raconté,
Leo.
tu peux la raconter si tu te rappelles. Quand j'ai amené l'argent à Eddie, pour que je voulais fumer de l'herbe, Eddie qui était déjà à Madagascar.
Oui. C'est
J'a-
celui qui vendait beaucoup?
Non.
Non.
J'amène de l'argent.
I thought I was supposed to remember the story. But anyway, so I bring some money to a guy named Eddie,
Eddie, qui était à
who
Madagascar
was in Madagascar.
depuis 3 mois.
He had been there for 3 months.
Donc je lui ai amené un peu d'argent.
So I brought him a little money. Oh, right, because, oui, je m'en rappelle. But he knew, Eddie is French, and he knew Eddie's aunt or something, and his aunt was like, yo, take him some money. So,
Okay.
et ça, c'est la deuxième expérience à Madagascar.
Ouais.
So this is the second time in Madagascar, he
Ouais.
brings him some money. Okay.
Et donc,
so-
je lui donne ses sous. I
give him his
the
money.
money. And after, I want to smoke marijuana. And I'm said to Eddie said to me, I know old woman, Malgache, he have very good marijuana on many plants, femme médecine, comme on dit.
Quoi?
Femme médecine.
Like
Docteur,
not a sage, sage.
naturel.
Like not a midwife, but
Avec
like
les
a,
plantes, quoi.
anyway, like a naturalist doctor woman.
On part à 4.
We're 4, there's 4 of us.
Une fille malgache,
One Madagascar
une fille
woman,
française, Eddie
one
et moi.
French woman, and then 2 Frenchmen, me and Eddie.
On arrive dans la case,
We arrive in the quoi?
la paillote,
C'est quoi?
la petite maison en bois.
We arrive in the little wooden shack house.
Tout le monde rentre dans la pièce.
Everybody goes into the room.
Je rentre en dernier.
I'm last in.
La vieille assise par terre.
The old woman sitting on the ground looks at me.
Regarde.
Cette vie. Okay.
Elle me regarde, elle me dit, toi,
She looks at me. She says,
tu es mort 7 fois, la prochaine fois tu dégages.
"You have died 7 times, and the next time will be you." Well, All right, here's because we don't. He told me this. We don't really know what it means, so I have to translate it literally to leave the ambiguity. Il faut que parce que c'est pas clair. Anyway, non, non. Oui, justement, c'est ça que je lui dis que c'était quelque chose d'un peu ambigu. So you have died 7 times, and the next time you get out.
Elle fait ça. 7e fois, tu dégages.
The 7th time you get out. You go out.
That sounds like his what he was talking about before with the soul, the essence.
Attends.
Is that in his mind, is that the same concept as what he was talking about before with the soul, the essence going up and joining the singular? What I don't know what he wants to call that, but maybe not important. Let him finish the story.
Il veut que tu finisses l'histoire.
L'histoire, elle est finie.
The story is finished.
Okay.
C'est toujours sur moi qu'il arrive des choses comme ça.
It's always to me that these kind of things happen.
Là, j'ai un parcours de vie très
I have a very special life path, unique.
Des expériences, mais il y en a d'autres. Tu vois,
There's got to be like a question, like, are these premises to some conclusion? Like, do you think that these experiences lead to some belief?
The thing that's also could be interesting is like, the idea that he has so much problem with religion, but the solution is a universal religion. Like, why is this religion better? What like?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him what would be the difference between the universal religion and the religion.
I like that question. Yeah.
C'est quoi la différence entre une religion universelle et les religions d'actualité de nos jours?
La différence, c'est que
difference is that
il y a qu'un Dieu universel.
There's only one universal God
qui se cache au fond de l'univers.
Who hides at the back of the end of the universe.
Quand tu traverses tout l'univers,
when you cross the whole universe, he's hidden at
Et je pense que les âmes
and I think that souls,
le flux vital, le rayon vital des humains.
Hold on. The vital fluid, the liquid of life, the ray, the light of life, it goes like this. Ça interagit avec cette autre force.
Comme si tu faisais un tour dans l'infiniment grand et l'infiniment petit, tu vois.
Cycle
et ça expliquerait tout.
Attends. Mais toi, tu parles à moi. Moi, je traduis.
Dans l'infiniment grand et l'infiniment petit.
The infinitely big and the infinitely small.
Comme si
pardon, tu peux t'adresser à lui, mais pas trop fort, c'est ça que je veux dire.
Tout était lié.
You can talk to him, but just not too loud, because I'm the voice he needs to hear.
Et ça explique tout.
It explains everything. So this cycle of from the infinitely
la grandeur d'en haut,
from the big up,
soit la grandeur de nos cellules, de la matière,
to the bigness of our cells, or the deepness of our cells.
On est d'accord.
Leo, we agree.
C'est la même complexité.
There's the same complexity in space
que dans les cellules et la matière.
As in cells and in material. It's endless.
On est d'accord.
Do we agree?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Infiniment petit et aussi grand que l'infiniment.
The infinitely small is as big as the infinitely big.
Et ça doit tourner en cercle, c'est la seule explication.
Oui, mais
donc ce flux.
It has to turn. It has to be a cycle. It's the only explanation. This light, this ray of life, vital ray,
qui anime les organismes,
that animates organisms
d'une pensée, les organismes
of thought.
Les organismes vivants, mais parce que tous les organismes vivants ne pensent pas.
Not all living organisms think.
Tu vois?
Il t'écoute, il prend des notes.
D'accord, ok. Que ce flux.
Hey, là, tiens, on t'étudie un peu là.
Ce flux vital que. Ben ouais, mais j'ai du mal à exprimer.
I said, we're kind of studying now. I said, yeah, but I'm having trouble explaining
it. C'est compliqué, quoi.
because it's very complicated.
Ce flux vital
This-
animerait la matière
this
organique et
Vital fluid, this life fluid,
de la pensée.
animates living organisms with thought.
Et que quand la matière organique meurt,
And
ce flux vital repart.
when the organic matter dies, this fluid, this vital fluid
Yeah.
leaves.
That's one of the better explanations of like dualism I've ever heard. That's exactly that. Yeah.
Is it que I'm gonna translate
that might upset him. That might upset him.
No. I'm going to translate it as that matches a popular philosophy.
Yeah.
Ça correspond à une philosophie assez, parmi certains populaires.
It's his Cartesian guy. That might upset him.
I know. So that's why I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Ça, c'est une petite explication.
So that's a little explanation.
C'est très dur à expliquer.
It's very difficult to explain.
So okay, I
Here's
feel like
the thing, Leo, and here's what's so interesting because
D'où viens-tu, Léo?
where are you from, Leo?
California.
Non, mais tu viens d'un spermatozoïde.
No, but you come from a spermatozoid,
Qui,
right?
What?
qui avec,
a sperm cell.
Oh, sure. Okay, gotcha.
D'où vient ce spermatozoïde?
Where does this sperm cell come from?
Yeah, wait. So are we going like
I don't know.
the
Let's
Big
see what
Bang?
happens.
Après,
Yeah.
dans l'autre sens.
Wait, hold on.
Dans l'autre sens.
Attends, do you agree? So there's a sperm cell.
Yeah.
Vous voulez qu'il réponde d'où vient ce sperme?
Ça n'a pas tellement d'importance parce que la réponse.
Never mind. Doesn't matter what your
Personne
response
ne l'a.
is.
Dans l'autre sens,
Nobody has the answer.
sur les millions de spermatozoïdes, un
Out of a million sperm cells, one
perce
penetrates.
the ball, encore.
Yeah,
The ball.
yeah, he understands.
Et arrive à rentrer.
Yeah, honestly.
Et Léo, qui était un petit dinosaure avec
Who
une
was a
queue
little dinosaur with a little tail
au tout début,
at the beginning,
devient un embryon,
becomes an embryo,
grandit dans la boule,
grows in this bubble
in the ball, avec le plasma,
with the plasma and the placenta,
placenta,
the placenta,
comme la couche d'ozone sur la planète,
like the ozone layer of the
qui le
planet
protège,
that protects us,
le fait grandir.
that helps us grow, that makes us grow. Et ça aussi,
Et
qui
ça,
lui fait cogiter.
et ça, il est déjà,
And this
il
is
est déjà
already,
conscient bien avant.
is already conscious.
Il entend tout, il ressent
It
tout.
already- Okay. Attends,
Okay.
Et après, tu
attends.
sors.
And then after you
Tu
go
sors de la
out,
boule et
you leave the
tu
bubble,
cries.
and you
Tu
yell.
arrives.
You arrive.
Tu arrives sur Terre.
You arrive on Earth. Okay.
Okay, wait. So hold on. I got 15 minutes, and I have two more questions that I'd love answers to. So
Can you
is that
just
okay?
write something down for me real quick?
Yeah.
Just I want to remark an issue that with Fred that we would encounter, which is that Fred with his maturity and so on, he and the time he spent thinking about these things, will want to share these things, which is what made it so amazing to me that he was willing to listen to me at all. So that's going to be a complicating factor in which direction sort of which is why the whole plate thing for me worked, saying here are two possibilities,
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, your two questions.
Okay.
So you noted that complication that
Yes.
we're anticipating.
Yes, I got that. So okay, my two questions, and these are less about the
Yeah,
religion. This is not about the details of the religion, because I feel like I understand some of it, and there's so much more that I don't understand, but that's okay.
Okay.
How do he mentioned we have to show everybody this higher power so that they will all believe, and that's what will unite everybody. That's how we get peace. But he mentioned a UFO, but like how do we like does he think was that just a hypothetical and that's the only way to do it, or does he actually think that's possible? And then if so, how do we do it? And I want to give you my other question, because I think you might have a good idea of how we should order these. I don't need to do both. What he's talking about sounds like a belief, not a religion. Where does religion has structure and often hierarchy. I guess Buddhism doesn't really have hierarchy, but how do you take that out and kind of
Maintain order.
you need tradition, you need ritual. Like, how do you go from that to the ritual, and then from the ritual and the tradition, the hierarchy and the then things get rigid, and then don't you get the same? That's my question is, so even if his religion, he believes that his religion is the true religion, that's fine. I'll go with that. Even if that's true, I don't think the issue with Catholicism is that it's false. I think the issue with Catholicism is that you get these really abusive power structures that come out of it. You could have a true religion with abusive power structures behind it. Anyway, ask whatever you take from that and say.
I want us to keep working on it, because it also has to be simple so that he doesn't go too far, in one direction.
Yeah, I think the second one is going to be better. I think the second one is going to be better.
Tell me what comes to mind for phrasing.
What he describes sounds like a belief to me.
Wait, hold on, let me just tell him what's going on. On essaie de trouver comment formuler la question qu'il a envie de poser.
D'accord. What he describes sounds like a belief. How do you get from there to a religion? And then once you do have a religion, how do you prevent the same abuses from occurring once you have that structure and the rigidity? Or does he believe that everybody should just have a belief and that's how we should coexist, and we shouldn't have any rituals or prayers or meditations or robes or any, yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to ask him. Do you think that if there was a universal sort of God respected, do you think that would involve certain specific rituals, practices, and I'm going to include rules?
Yeah, I like that. That's a good addition, yeah.
Alors, supposons que tout le monde accepte un Dieu universel, le même Dieu, ou la même force, je sais pas quoi. Est-ce que, à ce moment-là, il y aurait des rituels qu'on observe? Est-ce qu'il y aurait des règles à suivre selon ce Dieu?
Non, oui. Il faut quand même.
So,
il faut quand même. 90% des gens ont besoin d'être.
90% of people need to be led.
Peut-être moins, peut-être plus.
Maybe less, maybe more.
Mais il faut il faut des règles, parce que
we need rules.
Parce que sinon les hommes
because otherwise men,
ça finit en anarchie.
It finishes in anarchy, and
tu vois, ils sont préoccupés par leurs problèmes familiaux,
they care about
maladies, de mort,
they're preoccupied with their family problems and disease and death and
sur leurs actions.
Different who's paying attention to their actions and
donc
who's involved.
Il faut quand même des règles, mais d'une intelligence,
some rules,
et d'un amour infini,
and intelligence and an infinite love.
Pour mettre tout le monde.
Hold on, attends. He loves artificial intelligence. Okay, vas-y.
Pour mettre tout le monde.
To get everybody on the same page.
Voilà. Le chemin du bonheur.
On the path of goodness and happiness.
Du bien vivre,
that
bien vivre
ensemble,
me, and
that's
bien vivre ensemble.
To live well together. That's so interesting, because I know that he doesn't like when people authority, when people tell him what to do. So maybe he considers himself a special case, like me, like you, like Erwan.
Peut-être éliminer les frontières, je sais pas.
Maybe eliminate borders, and but that's going to be a really interesting thing to unpack.
Yeah, because that's
remember Leo.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have. Sometimes je peux juste lui dire une chose. Sometimes we wonder about, wait, how does this idea and that idea, how do those work together in that brain? And sometimes they don't. Usually they don't. We are not. One of my principles is integration. We are not integrated, meaning entirely integrated.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a really cool thing we'll have to talk about. Je lui dis qu'il faut que moi et lui on discute aussi comment explorer, c'est un mot ça? Explorer. Comment explorer
cette idée?
Non, oui, comment explorer une croyance à un de nous.
Pour moi,
I
c'est
said I said that we're trying to figure out how to explore a belief that one of us has, but he says for me,
les croyances en des dieux,
beliefs
en
in gods,
des dieux des hommes,
in the gods of man,
serait l'explication de la venue
would be the quoi?
de la venue de gens plus en avance que nous sur cette planète.
Ah, dis toute la phrase? Toute la phrase?
Voilà. Donc, pour moi, l'explication est toute simple. Tu vois, Dieu, c'est ça. C'est pour expliquer ça.
So
Maintenant,
God
ce
explain
qui
that.
simplifierait les choses, c'est
What would simplify things?
s'il pouvait revenir
If he could come back.
et que tout le monde, les hommes seraient tous d'accord.
So there's absolutely,
les religions disparaîtraient tout de suite.
He understands. So there's absolutely an openness, even a compulsion towards some kind of powerful authority, spiritual authority. But there are certain authorities that, of course, really upset him, and hypocrisy among authority. I'm not
Maintenant, si la science peut prouver,
right now, if science can prove,
c'est
and I think that
très bonne voie,
that we're on the right path, that it can, that it's going to happen soon, that certain buildings,
certains lieux n'ont pas été,
certain places were not created by primitives.
Ce qui en plus est évident pour
which is obvious
beaucoup d'endroits sur cette planète.
For a lot of places on this planet.
Aucun paléontologue n'a les réponses exactes.
No paleontologist has the answer.
Ou ne s'intéresse.
Or is interested.
Et là, ça simplifierait beaucoup la chose. Et,
so that would really simplify things if s'il est revenu.
Non, mais s'il y a les preuves scientifiques qu'une civilisation plus en avance que la nôtre est venue sur Terre et a fait ses constructions ou ses machines, enfin tout ce qui a été retrouvé, quoi.
If the civilization came and created the machines and these constructions that we have.
Et en plus, c'est vrai.
And by the way, it's true. More, it's true. I mean, if you're a little, if you're an engineer, if you have a, mathematical side or a stone, whatever side of stone, and if you're interested in the subject, it's impossible.
Plus chronologiquement, ce qui est plus ancien,
what's chronologically,
soit plus gros et mieux fait.
It's impossible what was constructed chronologically like farther in the past is bigger than what was constructed in the recent past.
Il y a beaucoup d'endroits énigmatiques.
Okay, lui, il doit y aller. On va continuer la discussion.
Voilà.
He has to go. We're going to continue the conversation. So, all right. So basically, here's what we have to do. We have to, one thing I'm going to be talking to him about.
Peut-être.
Attends, on va le garder pour, enfin.
Dis-lui peut-être, ça mettrait.
Tell him maybe.
Maybe
quoi?
Maybe it's a solution.
Maybe it's a solution. So what would be really.
For the peace.
For peace.
With the problem of religion. Because religion, it's problem. You have 5,000 years.
5,000 years.
Ouais.
Religion. Yeah.
5,000 years.
Yeah, c'est pas grave.
Et je mélange français et anglais.
Non, mais 1,000 millions.
Et ça peut pas continuer.
You can't continue this way. Anyway, non, mais lui, il doit y aller, lui.
D'accord.
He has to go. Okay, but.
Même les bouddhistes font des attentats.
Even Buddhists do terrorist attacks.
Une amie a perdu son fils.
A friend of mine lost her son.
Un bouddhiste intégriste.
Quoi?
Un bouddhiste intégriste.
An integrist.
Il y a les musulmans intégristes. Il y a les bouddhistes
intégristes.
So a
Buddhist who wants to integrate something, I don't know. And there are Muslim integrists.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. So you and I are going to talk soon. I think we've got there's a lot of really cool opportunities here that I hadn't really appreciated before this call.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Tell him I very much enjoyed listening to him and all his stories.
J'ai beaucoup apprécié ses histoires et je l'ai écouté.
And I'm excited to talk
again.
Et j'ai hâte de te parler à nouveau.
Voilà.
Okay. If that can help, then cool. That makes me happy.
Yes.
C'était un plaisir.
It was a pleasure.
Amazing.
Leah.
Okay. Goodbye.
Not at all what I expected.
Tu
Awesome.
poses des bonnes questions.
You ask good questions.
Thank you. All right. Goodbye.
All right, see ya.
Bye bye.